LoveLore Library. Chapter 1238. The Eight Desolates mountain range was the longest mountain range in the Eight Desolates mainland. It stretched for tens of thousands of miles, like a giant dragon lying on the mainland. When they saw the illusion, the dozen or so celestial fox saintess candidates all had different expressions on their faces. You should have recognized the place in the illusion. After discussion with the Council of Elders and the Great Witch Doctor, we have decided to hold a combat examination in the Eight Desolates mountain range. Your mission is to find the Celestial Fox's inheritance pillar in the Eight Desolates mountain range. Hu Qianqiu's thunderous gaze swept across everyone present. Celestial Fox's inheritance pillar. Yunxing was surprised. What was that? As if knowing that Yunxing did not know, Lu Yunshuang whispered a few words into Yunxing's ear, and only then did Yunxing understand. As it turned out, the Eight Desolates mountain range was not only the longest mountain range on the mainland, it was also the first destination that the Bakra orcs arrived at when they first arrived on the mainland. At that time, the Bakra orcs were in tatters, and many of the beasts were injured. As there were many native magical beasts in the mountain range, many Bakra orcs fell there as they fought. When they died, they were unwilling to let their ultimate techniques be lost, so they preserved their inheritances in the form of inheritance pillars. However, as the mountain range was vast and boundless, and too much time had passed, those inheritance pillars had not been completely excavated. To this day, there were still countless inheritance pillars scattered in various regions of the Eight Desolates mountain range. Your mission this time is to find the inheritance pillars. Whoever can find the inheritance pillar of the highest grade within a month will be the next celestial fox saintess, Hu Qianqiu said in a low voice. I also want to remind you that there are many magical beasts in the Eight Desolates mountain range, and there may even be other beasts who intend to get their hands on the Eight Desolates inheritance. In the coming month, there will be both opportunities and challenges for you. Although the Heavenly Fox tribe was one of the Eight Wastelands beast clans, due to the gradual decline of the Heavenly Fox tribe, other tribes on the mainland that were not part of the Eight Wastelands beast clans had become very dissatisfied with them over the years. There were even orcs who threatened to challenge the Celestial Fox tribe in the Bahuang clan competition a few months later and replaced the Celestial Fox tribe's position as the Bakra orcs. Under such circumstances, Hu Qianqiu wanted to unearth the strongest Celestial Fox saintess candidates. If they were no match for the magical beasts and other beasts in the mountain range, it would prove that their strength was only a so-so. However, if they could survive for a month and find the lost Celestial Fox inheritance pillar, their reputation would soar in the Celestial Fox tribal nation. Therefore, even though they knew that the Eight Desolates mountain range was extremely dangerous, the dozen or so Celestial Fox saintess candidates present were still eager to give it a try. After informing them of the mission of the combat examination, the dozen or so saintess candidates entered the magic array to the Eight Desolates mountain range under Hu Qianqiu's lead. Half a day later, Yunsheng and a group of saintess candidates stood at the entrance of the Eight Desolates mountain range. In front of them was a bottomless sea of trees with jagged rocks of strange shapes. Between the sea of trees, the mountain path was fragmented. According to the results of the theory examination, Hu Linglong came in first. She could enter the mountain 2 hours earlier according to the rules. Lu Yunshuang and another celestial fox girl, who had the second best results in the theory examination, could enter the mountain 1 hour and half an hour earlier respectively. The remaining 10 celestial fox saintess candidates could only enter the mountain 2 hours later. A month later, I hope to see all of you return successfully, Hu Qianqiu said in a low voice. Linglong will not disappoint you, clan leader. Hu Linglong was the first to set off. She was dressed in a dazzling red dress that looked like a flame. She shuttled through the sea of trees and soon disappeared. An hour later, it was Lu Yunshuang's turn to set off. Yunxing, this trip into the mountain is extremely dangerous. I want to go in with you. Lu Yunchuang did not set off immediately. Instead, she walked to Yunxing's side. She and Yunxing had become allies. Regardless of the situation in the Eight Desolates mountain range, if Yunxing died, there would be no one to heal her ice fox constitution. Therefore, Lu Yunchuang decided to stay by Yunxing's side along the way so that they could look after each other. As for the Celestial Fox Inheritance Pillar, it would depend on their own abilities when the time came. Relying on the support of the human race, aren't you afraid of embarrassing the purebred Celestial Fox? Qin Yu snorted when she saw this. She had been defeated by Lu Yunchuang back then, and she was still brooding over it. Wasn't the lesson last time enough? Lu Yunchuang's face was cold as she waved her slender hand. Qin Yu immediately recalled the feeling of her hands being frozen the last time. Now that that little bitch Yunxing was not in their group, if she was frozen again, no one would be able to save her. Qin Yu shut her mouth obediently when she thought of this. Hua Yanluo, Qin Yu, and Feng Lian only entered the Eight Desolates mountain range together after the first few people had set off. These women did not usually get along well, but they all understood that in a place like the Eight Desolates mountain range, an extra helping hand meant an extra chance of survival. Almost everyone had left. Only Yunxing, Lu Yunchuang, Yushang, and the other Saintess candidate from Yudu remained. Yushang was especially quiet today. She looked at the Eight Desolates mountain range, her beautiful eyes flashing slightly. Yunxing, we haven't decided who's the better one from our last competition. I will definitely find the best inheritance pillar. Yushang walked up to Yunxing, her blue-green eyes glowing like a beast's. Let's go into the mountains. Yunxing ignored Yushang's provocation. Every time she got close to Yushang, she would feel a chill run down her spine. This feeling was an instinctive rejection of unknown danger. Before Yunxing left Hu City, she went to Elder Lu again and obtained a month's worth of antidote from him. Elder Lu threatened Yunxing to do her best to find the Celestial Fox Inheritance Pillar. He also reminded Yunxing that the deeper they went into the Eight Desolates mountain range, the higher the chance of finding a higher-level Celestial Fox Inheritance Pillar. Hu Qinqiu watched the last few people disappear into the forest before leaving. In the Eight Desolates mountain range, a shrill scream rang out. Hu Linglong, what are you doing? A Celestial Fox Saintess candidate retreated in fear. What am I doing? A Celestial Fox mixed blood like you doesn't have the right to enter the Eight Desolates mountain range. I'll send you on your way. A murderous look appeared on Hu Linglong's beautiful face. She kicked out with her long legs, and her body wrapped around the Celestial Fox Saintess candidate's neck as if she had no bones. With a crack, the Celestial Fox Saintess candidate was ground into a pile of minced meat. You overestimate yourself. Do you really think you have the right to find the Celestial Fox Inheritance just because you've entered the Eight Desolates mountain range? Hu Linglong looked behind her. After entering the Eight Desolates mountain range, she didn't immediately search for the Celestial Fox Inheritance Pillar. Instead, she laid an ambush on a path that was necessary to enter the mountain. 2 Celestial Fox Saintess candidates had already died at her hands. Finding the Celestial Fox Inheritance Pillar required luck. Hu Linglong boasted of her strength, but the more people there were, the lower her chances of winning. Therefore, she planned to find the weaker Celestial Fox Saintess candidates who were alone and kill them in batches. Chapter 1239. You're overestimating yourself. Do you really think you're qualified to find the Celestial Fox's inheritance just because you've entered the Eight Desolate mountain range? Hu Linglong looked ahead. After entering the Eight Desolate mountain range, she did not immediately look for the Celestial Fox's inheritance pillar. Instead, she laid an ambush on a path that was necessary to enter the mountain. 2 Celestial Fox Saintess candidates had already died in her hands. Finding the Celestial Fox's inheritance pillar required luck. Hu Linglong boasted of her strength, but the more candidates there were, the lower her chances of winning. This time, even Green had come to Hoodoo. She must let him know that only she was the most suitable wife of the 9 Phoenix Tribe's future patriarch. Hu Linglong planned to find the weaker celestial fox saintess candidates who were alone and killed them in batches. After Hu Linglong and the Hoodoo saintess candidate killed several celestial fox saintess candidates, they lay in ambush on the side. Behind them, footsteps could be heard. Feng Lian, Hua Yanluo, and Qin Yu quickly rushed over. It was easy to kill one person, but if there were several of them, it would not be easy to sneak attack and kill them. Tisk, looks like these women are not stupid. They know how to move around together. Hu Linglong's eyes darkened. She knew that she had lost the best opportunity to kill them. Her figure flashed and disappeared into the forest with the Hoodoo saintess candidates. Hu Linglong and the others did not notice that in the process of killing the Heavenly Fox clansman, a bird was standing on a branch high up in the sky. That bird was different from ordinary birds. It had 3 heads, and the feathers on each head were different. They were yellow, white, and red. After the women left, the 3-headed bird landed on the ground and turned into a person with 3 heads. Big brother, those women just now are from the Celestial Fox tribe. Among the 3 heads, the white-haired man said. After waiting for so many days, they finally arrived. The red-haired man echoed. They're from the Celestial Fox tribe. However, the woman we're looking for hasn't arrived yet. The blonde man took out a painting. It was a portrait of Yun Xing. Big brother, it's just a mere beast man. Do you really need us 3 brothers to take action? The 3 brothers had strange appearances and seemed to have unfathomable strength. If it were an ordinary celestial fox, I wouldn't bother to make a move. But since that lord has already said so, we'll go all the way. The golden-haired man snorted. It's getting dark. We'll wait for an opportunity to act then. The golden-haired man covered his face. The 3-headed man once again transformed into a 3-headed bird and landed on a branch, quietly waiting for the arrival of night. Yun Sheng, Lu Yunchuang, and Qin Qi were flying at a low altitude. Magical wings and ice wings of different colors flashed behind their backs as they swiftly flew past. Since they had already confirmed that the high-level celestial fox inheritance pillar could only be found in the depths of the 8 desolate mountain range, Yun Xing did not want to waste too much time on the way. She was also certain that Hu Linglong and Yu Shang would get in the way. Right now, she only wanted to complete the combat test as soon as possible and exchange the antidote to save Bobo and little Ying from Elder Lu. It's getting dark. Night is the most dangerous place in the 8 desolate mountain range. There's an open space ahead. Let's settle down and rest for the night. As the sun gradually set, Lu Yunchuang looked at the sky. During this hour, a large number of nocturnal flying beasts would fly out of the forest. The mountain range would become even more dangerous. The 3 of them flew down and found a few tents in the open space. The 2-person Yuta group, Hu Linglong, and a celestial fox saintess candidate were there. Including Yun Xing and the other 2, there were only about 10 people. These people were divided into 2 factions with Hu Linglong and Yu Shang at the center. This was not surprising. Hu Linglong had the highest status among all the saintess candidates, while Yu Shang had the highest ability for the time being. Both of them were purebred, so the other saintess candidates would naturally curry favor with them. Yu Shang and I have our eyes on this territory. You have no right to stay here. Get out of here immediately. As soon as she saw Yun Xing and the others, Hu Linglong put on an unapproachable face. This open space had flat terrain and a wide view of the surroundings. Even if there was a night attack, they could see it clearly. If they missed this place, it would not be easy to find a suitable place to spend the night. The 8 desolate mountain range doesn't belong to you. What right do you have to make us leave? Yun Sheng looked unhappy. Because you're a mixed blood with an unclear background. The two of you, listen up. If anyone stays with this mixed blood, don't even think about spending the night here. Hu Linglong held her head high. Behind her, the celestial fox saintess candidates echoed her words. Numbers speak louder than words. I advise you to leave. Yunsheng, no matter how strong you are, you're definitely no match for me and Hu Linglong. Yushang's tone was calm, but there was a hidden threat in her words. Wait a minute, I have nothing to do with her. I was just unlucky to be assigned to the same team. I'll announce that I'm leaving Fingdu's group now. Chen Qi listened from the side and quickly abandoned her teammates to join Hu Linglong's group. What a joke. Without a suitable campsite, how could the three of them survive the night in the 8 desolate mountain range? If they had to die, let that mixed blood Yunxing die. Lu Yunchuang, what about you? Seeing that you're quite strong, we can consider accepting you if you abandon that bitch now. Hu Linglong could not wait for Yunxing to be abandoned by everyone. The 8 desolate mountain range was full of unpredictable threats. If Yunsheng was left alone, her chances of dying were higher. Chen Qi, you'll regret this, Lu Yunchuang said coldly, using her actions to prove her answer. The two of them were forced to leave the campsite. Actually, you don't have to anger those people because of me. Yunsheng was quite touched by Lu Yunchuang's actions. This woman from the Ice Fox tribe looked cold on the outside, but she was very loyal to her friends. Just based on the fact that she did not betray her at the critical moment, Yunxing decided to wait until the saintess selection was over before helping Lu Yunchuang change her body constitution. Even without you, I wouldn't have joined Hu Linglong and Yu Shang in the mire. But what should we do next? Before entering the 8 desolate mountain range, Lu Yunchuang had heard many legends about this mountain range. The nights here were not peaceful. Especially in the depths of the mountain range, there were likely to be large groups of sage-level magical beasts roaming. One or two of such magical beasts might not be a problem, but if they encountered hundreds or thousands of them, even she and Yunxing would be helpless. What should we do? Haha, of course it's an eye for an eye. Those women made us homeless, so how can we let them spend the night so comfortably? Yunxing smiled. With a wave of her hand, the Phantom King and the Night Demon Queen appeared in front of her at the same time. Chapter 1240. You're a witch summoner. Lu Yunchuang was shocked when she saw the two of them. She had long known that Yunxing was very powerful, but she did not expect her to be a witch summoner as well. Witch summoner. I'm a witch summoner. Yunxing treated Lu Yunchuang as one of her own and did not hide anything from her. Queen of the Night Demons, King of the Spectres, I order you to lead your Chi Mei inspectors. Tonight in the 8 desolate mountains, ambush demonic beasts above sage level, then lure those demonic beasts to the open space ahead. Lu Yunchuang looked in the direction Yunsheng was pointing. Was that not the campsite where Hu Linglong, Yu Shang, and the others were staying earlier? A large-scale attack by holy beasts. This would probably be the most unforgettable night of Hu Linglong and Yu Shang's lives. Lu Yunchuang looked at the relaxed Yunxing and secretly rejoiced in her heart. Fortunately, she had chosen to be friends with Yunxing. This woman was really too cunning. Since they could not find the best campsite to set up camp, Yunxing and Lu Yunchuang chose to rest temporarily on a large tree that was more than 10 meters tall before the sky turned completely dark. The two of them sat cross-legged on the tree. The sky was filled with stars that looked like sparks of fire. All around them, there was only the sound of leaves rustling in the wind. Around midnight, there were hurried footsteps under the tree. There's someone here. Let's go down and take a look. Yunxing and Lu Yunchuang looked around and saw a figure moving quickly toward them from the forest. It's Qin Yu. Yunxing recognized the person at a glance. The two of them landed on the ground in an instant. Yunxing, Lu Yunchuang, it's so good to meet you. Qin Yu, who had hurried over, was also shocked when the two of them suddenly appeared. When she saw that it was the two of them, especially when she saw Yunxing, Qin Yu's eyes lit up. She changed her attitude of disgust and ridicule when she saw Yunxing earlier and tugged on Yunxing's sleeve eagerly. Hua Yan Luo and I were accidentally ambushed on the way and both of them were seriously injured. Yunxing, you are a doctor. For the sake of Cangdu, you must have a way to save them. Qin Yu chattered endlessly with tears flashing in the corners of her eyes. She looked very pitiful. Yunxing shook off Qin Yu's hand without batting an eyelid. The latter stood there awkwardly. Are you going to leave him to die? Yunxing, don't forget that you were ordered by Lord Hesher to escort us to Cangdu. Now that the three of us are in danger, you actually stand by and do nothing. Qin Yu gnashed her teeth. Yunxing, what she said seems to be true. Lu Yunchuang also recalled that she had not seen the three Saintess candidates from Cangdu at the campsite just now. For the sake of Lady Hixi, I'll go and save them once. You'd better not play any tricks. Yunxing had never had a good impression of Qin Yu. This woman had always been like a little white flower in the beginning and tried to please everyone she met. After seeing that she had been chosen as the Saintess candidate of Plentiful City, she had mocked her many times. Would such a person risk her life to seek medical treatment for her teammates? It was good enough that she did not betray her teammates. Yunxing sneered inwardly. Even if she knew that there was a trap ahead, she still wanted to see what tricks Qin Yu was playing. The two of them are in the woodland not far ahead. Follow me. Qin Yu quickly led Yunxing and the others forward eagerly. This time, let's see how you die. Qin Yu walked in front, the sadness on her face from before completely gone. Her eyes flashed with the smile of someone who had succeeded in her scheme. In front of them, there was a shrub half the height of a person. Beside the shrub were two women lying on the ground. Judging from their figures, they were indeed Feng Lian and Hua Yan Luo. How are you? Lu Yunchuang reached out, wanting to touch them. Don't touch them. Yunxing's five senses were sharp. The moment she approached the shrub, she could already sense that the two women were no longer breathing. Unfortunately, Yunxing's words were too late. When Lu Yunchuang touched Hua Yan Luo, who had gotten up early and was lying on the ground, raised her head abruptly. Her face was green and ferocious. Her eyes were white and the flesh all over her body had rotted away. Hua Yan Luo raised her hand and grabbed Lu Yunchuang's hand with a cold gust of wind. Where her hand had touched Lu Yunchuang's almost snow-white arm, there was now a green handprint on it. Fiery explosion. A fireball rushed toward Hua Yan Luo. The other party cried out in pain as her arm burst into flames. Ice seal. Only then did Lu Yunchuang realize that it was a trap. She hurriedly chanted, and half of her arm turned into ice, temporarily blocking the poison from Hua Yan Luo's fingers. Her frozen arm had turned green. If Yunxing had not intervened in time, coupled with the effect of the ice seal, Lu Yunchuang would have been poisoned to death by now. Tisk, you're still alive after being poisoned by the rotting poison. You two are really lucky. Qin Yu stood together with Hua Yan Luo and Feng Lian. Her beautiful eyes were filled with jealousy and hatred. Beside her, Hua Yan Luo and Feng Lian had rotting flesh all over their faces like zombies. It looked like both of them had been dead for a long time and had become rotting corpses. Qin Yue, did you set them up and cause them to end up like this? Yunxing had long known that Qin Yu was not a good person, but she did not expect her to frame her companions like this. Don't put it so crudely. What do you mean by I set them up? They only have themselves to blame for being in this state. The three heads with different hair colors looked at Yunxing together. They looked at Yunxing as if they were looking at a piece of delicious meat. Their target was her. Yunxing didn't remember offending such an enemy. "Sirs, let me stall that injured woman," Qin Yu requested in a fawning manner. Now that Lu Yunchuang had been poisoned by the decaying poison, Qin Yu could use this opportunity to avenge herself for being frozen. At that moment, Lu Yunchuang truly regretted not killing the traitor Qin Yu during the duel at the inn. "Leave the three demons to me. You be careful of Qin Yu." Yunsheng and Lu Yunchuang did not hesitate. Both of them leaped several meters into the air and attacked in two different directions. An icy combat aura surged around Lu Yunchuang. Lu Yunchuang held the poison in one hand and waved her other hand. As the icy air approached, countless ice needles condensed in the air. Traitors should be punished by everyone. The ice needles scattered like flowers. Wind shield. This time, Qin Yu was different from her usual self. She smiled sinisterly and suddenly waved her hand. A wind shield formed between her sleeves. There was a crackling sound as the wind shield collided with the ice needles. The ice needles all exploded. "Your strength." Lu Yunchuang steadied herself. She had fought Qin Yu before, so she knew her opponent's strength very well. You didn't expect this, did you? There's more to come." An unusual red glow appeared on Qin Yu's face. She chanted, and another, Qin Yu, formed beside her. "I'd like to see how you can defeat 4 of my fists with just one hand." After summoning her clone, Qin Yu became even more fearless. The Hua family's traceless fox. You devoured Feng Lian and Hua Yanluo's hearts. You're really crazy. Lu Yunchuang recognized it as Hua Yanluo's inheritance at a glance. There was only one possibility for Qin Yu to achieve such a shocking breakthrough in strength in such a short period of time. She could use both Feng Lian's wind shield and Hua Yanluo's traceless fox. Hua Yanluo had devoured their hearts. Lu Yunchuang looked at Hua Yanluo and Feng Lian. There was a fist-sized hole in each of their hearts. Unlike other Bakra orcs, the Celestial Fox tribe had a simple method of inheriting their inheritance, devouring hearts. However, this method was too cruel and bloody. It had always been regarded as a taboo in the Celestial Fox tribe. Who would have thought that not only would Qin Yu betray her companions, but she would also do such a thing? So what if I devoured their hearts? After I kill you and the 3 of you kill that B***starred Yunxing, I'll devour your hearts as well. Qin Yu's expression was ferocious, and her eyes shone with a ghostly green light. That was right. After witnessing the 3 rock demons turn the 2 women into rotting corpses, she had an evil thought and begged the 3 demons to give her their hearts. Chapter 1242. The battle on Yunxing's side was much more intense than that on the other side. Apart from fighting the 3 Ping brothers, she also had to deal with the 2 rotting celestial fox corpses, Hua Yanluo and Feng Lian. In order not to interfere with the battle on Lu Yunchuang's side, Yunxing quickly set up a magic isolation array around her. Who's behind this? Yunxing had no grudge against the 3 Ping demons, so it was most likely that someone was behind this. If you want to know the truth, you'll have to defeat these 2 rotting corpses first, the 3 demons hooted. Although they had been ordered to kill Yunxing, the 3 of them were notorious in their early years. They had even dared to kill an elder of the Ping tribe, let alone a celestial fox hybrid. In their opinion, Yunxing was not worthy of their attention. Feng Lian and Hua Yanluo were like 2 loyal guards, blocking Yunxing's path with a whoosh. Feng Lian was an expert in wind-type magic. Her body was surrounded by an oppressive power of the wind. The wind turned into scythe-shaped wind blades and charged toward Yunxing. The magic scepter in Yunxing's hand moved like a snake. With a few thuds, an earth wall rolled up from the ground and blocked the wind blades. On the other side, Hua Yanluo's eyes were blank as she chanted dryly. Her figure split into two, one on the left and one on the right, closing in on Yunxing. The Hua Yanluo on the left pulled out a scimitar while the Hua Yanluo on the right brandished a long whip. Dark thorns, break. Sharp thorns rose from the ground and pierced Hua Yanluo's body. After being stabbed, the rotting corpse paused for a moment before pouncing toward Yunxing again. Tisk, you're really difficult to deal with. Yunxing's lips curled into a cold smile. She spread her arms like a rock and soared several meters into the air. Improved fiery explosion, 9 heavens phoenix explosion. Yunxing had only used this spell a limited number of times, but the effect was very different from the first time she used it. Although it was just an ordinary magic spell, after mixing with the powerful energy of the divine lotus fire, a fire phoenix descended from the 9 heavens and flew towards Feng Lian and Hua Yama. The scorching flames rushed towards the rotting corpses. The rotting corpses instantly exploded, turning into 2 puddles of putrid green liquid. The 3 of you have killed 2 of my companions. I will not let you off so easily. Yunxing looked at Hua Yanluo and Feng Lian's bodies that were smashed into pieces, her heart heavy. She didn't have much of a relationship with the 2 girls from Cangdu, but at least they had been on the same journey as her. They weren't fence-sitters like Qin Yu. Seeing them end up like this, she couldn't help but feel a little empty. But when she thought of the characters of the 2 girls, she was afraid that they would rather die than become ugly rotting corpses. Yunxing felt relieved. This little girl is really something. No wonder the great witch doctor asked the 3 of us to deal with her. Seeing Yunxing kill Feng Lian and Hua Yanluo in an instant, the 3 rock demons looked dignified. The rotting corpses were not afraid of knives, spears, water, or lightning, and had a certain resistance to ordinary fire, but they were completely devoured by the fire magic phoenix. The fire seed was extremely powerful. They thought that the celestial fox tribe had already declined, but they didn't expect a mixed-blood celestial fox to have such ability. But no matter how powerful she was, it was all empty talk in front of the 3 brothers. Rock inheritance, night invisibility. Rock inheritance, golden feather plume. Suddenly, the 3 rock demons disappeared in the dark night. Yunxing's heart trembled slightly, and she became a little vigilant. The Bakra orcs evolved from the birds of the Rock clan. Among their ancestors, there was the Night Owl clan, who were very good at hiding in the dark night. The 3 brothers suddenly disappeared, and even their breath disappeared. Yunxing couldn't make a move for a while, and she was vigilant in the magic array. Whoosh! Several gusts of wind brushed past her ears. Yunxing's ears moved slightly, and a feather appeared between her fingers. The feather was as sharp as a knife. Then, behind her, and in front of her, many feathers swept over. Wind wings, speed up. Yunxing's figure moved, constantly casting defensive magic, but the feathers, which had no direction and no warning, burst out from all directions from time to time. It's really strange, these 3 demons are a little difficult to deal with. Yunxing clicked her tongue. In this situation, even if Yunxing summoned magic beasts, the attack wouldn't be very effective, and she was afraid that it would increase unnecessary casualties. The 3 rock brothers' attacks were strange, and she didn't know how many other rock inheritances were hidden in their bodies besides night invisibility. Whoosh! A feather brushed past her earlobe, and a green scar appeared on the side of her ear. The strong decaying poison quickly spread, and Yunxing immediately took out a bottle of life water and drank a mouthful. Under the effect of the life water, the scar slowly recovered its color. Hey, the potion in that woman's hand is very strange. The 3 demons didn't expect that Yunxing had hidden such amazing healing holy water. Yunxing carefully looked around. Although there was no way to determine the location of the 3 rock demons, one thing was certain, they were definitely still in the magic array. Rock demons, I have the life water in my hands, you can't kill me. Why don't we make a deal, and you tell me who ordered you to do this? I will help you turn into normal people. Yunxing suddenly lowered her defenses and said loudly. The 3 rock demons were stunned. Turn into normal people, what did that mean? Ignore that woman, she wants to lure us into revealing our whereabouts. The leader of the 3 rock demons was very astute, and he reprimanded his 2 brothers to ignore Yunxing. The 3 demons and 1 mother had been in the same womb for many years, and even if they didn't speak, they could understand the thoughts of the 3. The 2 demons didn't respond. Yunxing was not in a hurry, and she chanted, and Xiao He appeared beside her. When Xiao He appeared, all the black fur on its body stood up like needles, and it barked a few times towards a certain direction in the darkness. It's the heavenly dog, its nose is very sensitive, could it have already discovered our whereabouts? The 3 rock demons saw Xiao He, and couldn't help but feel a little flustered. After Yunxing summoned Xiao He, she didn't order it to attack, and she patted Xiao He's neck. I summoned Xiao He not to become enemies with you. I just want to let you know that I can really help you. Xiao He was originally a 2-headed dog, and I was the one who saved it. Yunxing gestured at Xiao He's neck. The 3 rock demons focused their gaze on Xiao He's neck, and upon closer inspection, there was indeed a scar on it. Because of the age, it was very difficult to see with the naked eye, but upon closer inspection, they noticed that Xiao He's head was different from a normal dog's, and its head was tilted to the left, so it wasn't hard to guess that it was indeed a 2-headed dog. Even the great witch doctor couldn't save us 3 brothers. Can this woman do it? The 3 rock demons thought. Chapter 1243. The feathery ping demons were seen as a bad omen for the feathery ping tribe because of their deformed heads. For so many years, they had been hiding from one place to another like rats on the streets. Although they claimed that the 3 brothers would work together, in their hearts, they also longed to live like normal feathery ping tribe members. This time, the 3 demons did not speak. They were obviously hesitating. Yunxing's eyes narrowed. Xiao He's sense of smell was very sensitive. She had probably locked onto the 3 demons' positions. The black eyes turned into a golden color, and a giant golden eye appeared in the sky. A voice appeared in the minds of the 3 demons. I'm here to help you. The 3 of you share a body. Not only do you have to endure inhumane treatment, but your body will also run out of nutrients over time, and your limbs will wither away. I believe you've already experienced this over the years. In the modern world, Yunxing had seen all kinds of conjoined twins. Most of them died young, and some even died in their infancy. The feathery ping demons were able to live for decades not only because of the strength of their 8 Desolates bloodline, but also because they had taken some special medicine. Yunxing's words were like 2 heavy hammers that struck the 3 demons' hearts. The 3 brothers had indeed had a hard time over the years. While evading the Bakra orcs, they also had to search for all kinds of spiritual herbs to sustain their lives. It was also because of this that they had no choice but to become the great shaman Celestial Fox's minions. They appeared to be obedient, but deep down, they were unwilling to accept it. What should I do to get you to help me? The feathery ping demons hesitated, but in the end, they compromised with Yunxing. It's very simple. Only one of the 3 of you can survive. Instead of surviving together, it's better to kill the other 2 without anyone noticing. One of you will live, become a normal person, and live on. I swear in the name of Ancestor Celestial Fox that I will fulfill my promise. Yunxing's voice was like a venomous snake, flicking its venomous tongue in the dark night. Outside the magic array, Lu Yunchuang and Qin Yu were engaged in a heated battle. Lu Yunchuang, you'd better beg for mercy. That lowly celestial fox is no match for the three demons. I'm afraid she's already a rotten corpse by now. You're next. Qin Yu chuckled dryly. Her eyes were bloodshot as she glanced at the magic formation. Qin Yu's expression changed slightly when she saw it. The magic array suddenly shattered, and a person stumbled out of it. That person was not Yunxing, whom Qin Yu had hoped for. Instead, it was the three pink demons. The eyes of the three devils turned scarlet. They twisted and bit at each other fiercely. The pink-feathered three devils were born from the same mother. The three of them knew each other's weaknesses the best. Their bites were all aimed at each other's weak points. They were merciless. Blood and flesh splattered everywhere. He had bitten the other party's head until it was bleeding, but he still refused to let go. Yunxing, end them. When Lu Yunchuang saw this, she abandoned Qin Yu and landed next to Yunxing. She stared at the three pink-feathered three devils with an evasive expression. It's just a dogfight. I just caught their psychological illness and used some psychological tactics. The smell of rotting corpses grew stronger in the air. Yunxing frowned in disgust. As a healer, psychological attacks, such as sowing discord, were sometimes more effective than magic and battle techniques. The three devils fought to the end. Only the eldest of the three pink-feathered three devils had one last breath left. They're all dead. Save me. He still refused to give up and begged Yunxing for help. Yunxing walked up to him and fed him a few mouthfuls of the elixir of life. Lu Yunchuang watched from the side. She saw Yunxing take out a strange-looking knife and cut open the two devils' skulls. She then used acupuncture to stop the bleeding for the eldest pink-feathered three devils. Such serious injuries would be difficult for any healer on the mainland, even the great witch doctor of the celestial fox tribe, to treat them. However, Yunxing did it smoothly and without any hesitation. Lu Yunchuang could not help but trust Yunxing's medical skills a little more. The eldest pink-feathered three devils gradually regained consciousness. Only then did he realize that he had fallen into Yunxing's trap. Second brother, third brother. The eldest pink-feathered three devils wailed. Don't pretend. To put it bluntly, my golden puppet eyes can only affect people with weak hearts. If you three brothers are really deeply in love, my golden puppet eyes will have no effect at all. I've done what I promised. It's time for you to fulfill your promise, Yunxing said ruthlessly. The eldest pink-feathered three devils touched his wound. Without the heads of his second brother and third brother, his body had indeed become much lighter. He had become a normal person. I can't say. The eldest pink-feathered three devils' heart was palpitating. He felt a little regretful but also a little fearful. It was obvious that he was very wary of the background of the mastermind behind the scenes. Oh. Yunxing seemed to have guessed the eldest pink-feathered three devils' reaction. She snapped her fingers. The eldest pink-feathered three devils only felt a very soft sound coming from his neck. Blood gushed out of the wound that had already stopped bleeding. Wait, help me stop the bleeding. I'll tell you everything. The eldest pink-feathered three devils covered the bleeding wound. He was so scared that his face was drained of color. Yunxing did not say another word. She raised her palm and wiped an acupoint at the base of the eldest pink-feathered three devils' ear. The eldest pink-feathered three devils felt a needle-like pain in the base of his ear. The bleeding miraculously stopped. Yunxing would never save someone like the eldest pink-feathered three devils who would even harm his own brothers for the sake of profit if she was not completely confident. She had deliberately held back when she treated him just now. As expected, he wanted to go back on his word. The eldest pink-feathered three devils had already been thoroughly convinced by Yunxing after being startled like this. he did not dare to play any tricks. The great witch doctor of the celestial fox tribe ordered the three of us to kill you. Apart from you, she also said that apart from a saintess candidate named Yu Shang, we've encountered other saintess candidates along the way, so we'll deal with them as well. The eldest pink-feathered three devils had agreed readily, but who knew that it would bring disaster to the three brothers? The great witch doctor is in cahoots with Yu Shang. Lu Yunchuang's face was full of disbelief. That seems to be the case. It was probably the great witch doctor's idea to hold the combat examination in the 8 desolate mountain range. Yunsheng had heard of the great witch doctor's name a long time ago. She had initially thought that the great witch doctor of the celestial fox tribe would be a kind-hearted healer. She had even wanted to exchange pointers with her, but who would have thought, including the two mysterious black talismans on Popping Sheep and Little Ying, this great witch doctor of the celestial fox tribe whom she had never met before had already offended her twice. No matter where the other party came from, she would take revenge tenfold for offending her. However, before that, Yunxing had to find out why Yu Shang was in cahoots with the great witch doctor. Chapter 1244. After Boss Ping finished speaking, he sneaked a glance at Yunxing's expression. To tell you the truth, miss, we made a very important discovery in the 8 desolate mountains. There's a sizable forest of inheritance pillars deep within the mountains. Boss Ping knew that he would not be able to escape death if the witch doctor found out that he had betrayed the witch doctor. So, he decided to betray the witch doctor and seek refuge with Yunxing. In order to gain Yunxing's trust, he revealed the secret he had been hiding in the depths of his heart. Forest of Inheritance Pillars. What's that? Why haven't we heard of it when we entered the mountains? Yunxing and Lu Yunchuang looked surprised when they heard this. They had come to the 8 desolate mountains to search for inheritance pillars, but they had not seen any along the way. They did not expect to hear about inheritance pillars from Boss Peng. This information has not been announced to the public yet. It's a long story about the Forest of Inheritance Pillars. The three of us were hunted in the early years and have been hiding in the 8 desolate mountains. This mountain range is vast and boundless, but not long ago, we discovered a very large ancient seal. There were a large number of inheritance pillars in the seal. Boss Peng was afraid that Yunxing would not believe him, so he quickly described it vividly. The 3 ping demons had been hunted down by the tribes of the 8 desolate mountains, especially a few high-ranking beast clans, who had been relentlessly pursuing them. The 3 brothers also learned that the 8 desolate mountains might contain powerful inheritance pillars left behind by the ancestors of the Ping tribe. So, over the years, they had been searching for the inheritance pillars of the Ping tribe, and also working under the orders of the witch doctor. However, the inheritance pillars on the outskirts of the 8 desolate mountains had been extensively searched and excavated. The remaining inheritance pillars were either of inferior quality or had lost their power due to age. The 3 demons did not discover anything until 3 months ago. The 3 ping demons found a map on the corpse of a passerby. The map showed that there was a suspicious seal in the core area of the 8 desolate mountains. It was said that the seal was deliberately left behind by the first batch of Bakra orcs when they first arrived in the 8 desolate lands to prevent their heritage from being lost. However, that seal was very strange. It was simply impossible for ordinary people to undo it. The 3 of us followed the map's guidance and arrived at the location of the seal. Furthermore, we entered that seal. When Boss Pingyut said this, he still had some lingering fear. After they broke into the seal, it was as if they were in a maze. In the end, they still failed to obtain the inheritance. Is there a celestial fox's inheritance pillar inside? Yunsheng and Lu Yunchuang's interest was piqued. That seal contains the inheritance of all the major beast clans, so there must be the inheritance of celestial fox inside, Boss Pingyut said awkwardly. According to the map, only by finding the eye of the seal can the seal be broken, and the most powerful inheritance pillars can be seen again. With the abilities of us three brothers at the time, there was no way for us to find the location of the ice seal. With no other choice, the Featherping demons could only inform their old friends of their discovery. Originally, they wanted to use everyone's strength to break the seal. Who would have thought that those fellows would leak the news? Who did they leak it to? Yunxing pressed on, secretly despising the Featherping demons in her heart. These three Featherping demons were really stupid. The Forest of Inheritance Pillars was a great opportunity, and they had actually rashly leaked it. No wonder people said that three monks had nothing to eat. These three demons were the classic example of incompetent people who could only spoil things. Fortunately, the three demons had offended too many people and did not have many friends on the mainland. They only told the news to a member of the Beaming clan and a member of the Featherping clan. The two of them reported the news to their superiors. Now, the Beaming clan and the Featherping clan had sent people into the 8 desolate mountain range. As far as the three demons knew, there were hundreds of people on both sides, led by the elites of their respective clans. The Featherping demons knew that they were no match for them, so they could only hide outside. Just like that, the underground forest of inheritance pillars was taken over. The Beaming clan and the Featherping clan each had hundreds of people. Yunsheng and Lu Yunshuang frowned slightly. This news was not good. There were only the two of them, and the Celestial Fox Saintess candidates were eyeing them covetously. This was obviously not the time to fight head-on. Let's stop for a while. After daybreak, we'll set off again and explore the location on the map. Yunsheng decided for the time being. While they were reorganizing, Yunsheng and Lu Yunshuang realized that Qin Yu had disappeared. That woman must have escaped. When she saw you take care of the Featherping demons, she knew that she was no match for you. This woman's methods are vicious. She even ate the hearts of her own clansmen. I should have killed her long ago. Lu Yunshuang was a little regretful. It doesn't matter. She can't do anything by herself. What's more important now is to do as Boss Featherping said and think of a way to get close to the sealed area where the Forest of Inheritance Pillars is. Yunxing collected Hua Yanluo and Feng Lian's ashes. She decided to bring their ashes back to Qianlang after leaving the 8 desolate mountain range. Not long after daybreak, Yunsheng and Lu Yunshuang walked toward the sealed area under Boss Featherping's lead. This night was unforgettable for most people in the 8 desolate mountain range. In the direction of the Celestial Fox camp, the Celestial Fox Saintess candidates were all panting. Even Hu Linglong, who had always been elegant and graceful, was now in a sorry state with many wounds on her body and face. The camp was surrounded by the severed limbs of demonic beasts. The Celestial Fox camp, which was located in an excellent location, was now like a battlefield. Most of the Celestial Fox Saintess candidates were injured. 2 of the Celestial Fox Saintess candidates died on the spot. After a night of fighting, Hu Linglong and Yu Shang were the only 2 who were completely unharmed. What the hell? Where did so many demonic beasts come from? Hu Linglong was furious and kicked the corpse of a saint-level fire-spotted wolf beside her. Their camp was clearly far away from the demonic beast gathering area. How did it attract so many demonic beasts all of a sudden? Last night, Hu Linglong was in a good mood after chasing away Yunxing and Lu Yunshuang. However, this good mood only lasted until the first half of the night. In the latter half of the night, she first heard the cries of eagles. Then, a group of 50 to 60 eagle-headed leopards appeared in the sky above the camp. The eagle-headed leopards were furious. It was as if the Celestial Fox Saintess candidates had dug up their ancestral graves. They attacked the camp in a frenzy. Due to the eagle-headed leopard's sudden appearance, one of the Celestial Fox Saintess candidates was caught in the air by the angered eagle-headed leopard queen and torn in half. However, Just as Hu Linglong and Yu Shang organized their forces and killed the eagle-headed leopard queen and her subordinates, worse things happened. Chapter 1245. Worse was yet to come. The girls didn't even have time to catch their breaths. A pack of roaring fire-spot wolves rushed into the camp. They were like enraged Tyrannosaurus Rex as they spat out flames. The celestial fox camp was burned to ashes in no time. Before the first wave subsided, another wave rose. When the fire-spot wolves attacked, the soul-devouring iron-boned rabbits also attacked from behind like a tide. It was as if all the magical beasts in the 8 desolate mountain range were swarming towards the camp. We've been set up. Yu Shang hadn't slept a wink either, but her situation was clearly much better than Hu Linglong's. Yu Shang only used the corpse puppet technique and ghost eye to control many magical beasts. If it weren't for Yu Shang, the celestial fox camp would have suffered at least double their losses. Yu Shang wasn't Hu Linglong. When she controlled these magical beasts, she noticed that their emotions were abnormally violent. After killing a fire-spot wolf, Yu Shang took the opportunity to search its memories. She discovered that the reason these fire-spot wolves suddenly attacked the celestial fox camp in the middle of the night was because their wolf king's cub had been stolen half an hour ago. The scent of the wolf king's cub came from the celestial fox camp. As for the soul-devouring iron-boned rabbits, the oldest iron-boned rabbit in their group had been killed. Its corpse was found in the direction of the celestial fox camp. The eagle-headed leopard queen that was killed earlier had a very obvious wound on its body. The assassin who ambushed it fled to our celestial fox camp. Yu Shang frowned. No wonder all the magical beasts in the 8 desolate mountain range were attacking the celestial fox camp. Clearly, someone had deliberately lured these demonic beasts here. Who dared to set us up like this? Hearing Yu Shang's words, Hu Linglong carefully examined the corpses of the magical beasts. Sure enough, she found many clues. In addition to the wounds inflicted by the celestial fox people, there were some wounds that weren't caused by them. I know who did it. It must be those 2 bitches, Yunsheng and Lu Yunshuang. Qin Yu walked towards the campsite. Seeing that the Ping 3 devils were not Yunsheng's match, she knew in her heart that the situation was hopeless. She had seen Yunsheng's means. She had caused the death of Hua Yanluo and Feng Lian. If she were to fall into the hands of Yunsheng, she would suffer a fate worse than death. Therefore, Qin Yu sneaked away while Yunsheng was taming the 3 Ping devils. She had been lurking near the celestial fox's camp for a long time. She only came out after Yu Shang and Hu Linglong had cleared out all the magic beasts. It's you. If I remember correctly, you're from Cangdu. You came here with Yunsheng, that half-blood bitch. Hu Linglong cast a sidelong glance at Qin Yu with her usual condescending attitude. In her eyes, Qin Yu was also a half-blood bastard, no different from Yunsheng. Lady Linglong, I'm different from her. I'm loyal to the Celestial Fox tribe and Lady Linglong. That woman, Yunsheng, harbors evil intentions. She killed Hua Yanluo and Feng Lian on the way here. She also wanted to kill me. I risked my life to escape. When Qin Yu heard this, a vicious glint flashed across her eyes, but her expression did not change. Yunsheng killed 2 Celestial Fox Saintess candidates. As soon as she said this, the remaining Celestial Fox Saintess candidates in the Celestial Fox's camp were all in an uproar. Not only did she kill them, but she also planned to go deep into the 8 desolate mountain range with the Ping 3 devils. It said that they found a forest of inheritance pillars there. In order to gain the trust of Hu Linglong and the others, Qin Yu gritted her teeth and revealed the information she had unintentionally heard from the Ping 3 devils. Is what you said true? A forest of inheritance pillars was found deep in the 8 desolate mountain range. A forest of inheritance pillars. It was actually a forest of inheritance pillars. After hearing this news, even Yushang, who was the best at concealing her feelings, could not help but reveal a joyful expression. The Forest of Inheritance Pillars was not an ordinary inheritance. It was a special inheritance treasure ground formed by gathering the inheritance pillars of Bakra orcs together on a large scale. After entering the Forest of Inheritance Pillars, one had to awaken the inheritance pillars with the bloodline of the 8 desolate beasts. Only by successfully awakening the pillars could one obtain the inheritance. However, at the same time, Hu Linglong and Yushang realized that it would not be easy for them to enter the Forest of Inheritance Pillars. Qin Yu also said that Yunsheng and the others were not the only ones who knew about the Forest of Inheritance Pillars. There were already people from the Beaming tribe and the Pink tribe guarding outside the Forest of Inheritance Pillars. These 2 8 desolate beast clans were not some pushover. After they learned of the news of the Inheritance Pillar Forest, the ones they sent over were all elites. After the battle last night, there were less than 10 of them left. How could they fight against the elites of the Beaming tribe and the Pink tribe with such a manpower? Not to mention, that bitch Yunxing had colluded with the 3 Ping demons. When she heard the name of the 3 Ping demons, Yushang's expression changed slightly. Hu Linglong did not know, but she knew very well that the 3 Ping demons were pawns sent by the Great Witch Doctor into the 8 desolate mountain range to secretly assassinate Yunxing. How had Yunxing not only not been killed overnight, but she had also formed an alliance with the 3 Ping demons? What method had that woman used? Chapter 1246. In the eyes of the other Celestial Fox candidates, they didn't know what Yushang had said to Hu Linglong, but Hu Linglong's expression changed after hearing it. Sister Yushang, if it's really as you say, then I'll treat you like a real sister. I'll give you the title of Celestial Fox Saintess. She changed her attitude of rejecting Yushang and happily took her hand. Real sister. Others might not know how you treat your cousin Hu Xing, but do you think I don't know? He's just a brat from the 9 Phoenix tribe. Why would I care about him? In this world, the only real man is Yi Xiu. Yushang appeared affectionate on the surface, but her heart was full of disdain. Hu Linglong, on the other hand, thought, if you want to be the Celestial Fox Saintess, then I'll let you be. That lousy saintess isn't worth anything. Hu Linglong was born in the Celestial Fox tribe, so she knew everything about the Celestial Fox tribe. After the Celestial Fox tribe migrated to the 8 Desolates continent, most of the tribe leaders were men, so the status of men and women was very unequal. Although the Celestial Fox Saintesses were known as the 4 poles of Celestial Fox in name, along with the Celestial Fox people, the Council of Elders, and the Great Shaman Doctor, they had been restricted by the other 3 over the years and had no real power to speak of. This had become very serious when Hu Xing became the Saintess. The power of the Celestial Fox Saintess had been taken away. Hu Linglong had always strived to become the Saintess of the Heavenly Fox tribe. Other than satisfying her father Hu Qiansui and her own vanity, there was also a very important reason. It was because she had heard about the marriage agreement between the Heavenly Fox tribe and the 9 Wan tribe. Since Yushang wasn't interested in marrying Lu, she wouldn't be her competitor. Hu Linglong thought that as long as she became the wife of the 9 Phoenix tribe's young master, she would definitely become the wife of the 9 Phoenix tribe's patriarch in the future. The 9 Phoenix tribe was a superior beast tribe. Compared to the Celestial Fox tribe, it was like heaven and earth. The 2 women each had their own ulterior motives, but on the surface, they were happy and harmonious. Qin Yu felt uneasy when she saw the 2 women mocking each other for a moment and then acting as close as sisters. Your name is Qin Yu. You've done us a great service by telling us about the Inheritance Forest. Later, you will follow us into the 8 Desolate Mountain Range. You'd better behave yourself along the way. If you have any bad intentions, I'll take your life. Yushang looked askance at Qin Yu. When her gaze landed on Qin Yu's chest, she shot her a cold glance. Chinyu had the illusion that she had been seen through at a glance. Her heart was beating very fast. This jade garment of Yudu was indeed not simple. Even when he was facing the three rocks, he had never had such a feeling. The Saintess candidates in the Celestial Fox camp reorganized themselves. Around noon, Chinyu led them into the depths of the mountain range. In the depths of the 8 desolate mountain range, the forest was much more sparse than the forest outside. Ever since the three rocks found out about the inheritance forest, this area had been occupied by the people of the Beaming tribe and the Pink tribe who had rushed over. Before they reached the ancient seal, they heard a series of curses on the mountain path. Silver Rock, don't be unreasonable. We, the Beaming tribe, found this place first. A 2-meter-tall beaming woman blocked the entrance of the mountain path like a small mountain. Among the Bakra orcs, the Beaming tribe belonged to the bloodline of giants. They were also the only tribe that looked the most similar to humans in appearance. However, the people of the Beaming tribe were generally much taller than humans. The women were 1.8 meters tall, and the men were 1.9 meters tall. Among the Beaming tribe, they were considered short. The 2-meter-tall beaming giant blocking the mountain path was Rita, one of the descendants of the 8 desolate mountain range who had been to the Dutian blood beast sector. Behind Rita, there were 300 to 400 beaming warriors standing in a row. They were all holding long spears and staring at the sky angrily. In the sky, there were also 300 to 400 ping warriors. They had all transformed into rocks. The leader was a silver rock. That rock had sharp eyes and silver hook-like claws. Rita, this ancient seal was found by the people of the Peng tribe first. You only arrived half a day earlier than us. How can you say that you found it first? That silver rock was the young master of the Peng tribe, Silver Rock. Half a month ago, he had heard from his tribe that the ancient seal had been found in the 8 desolate mountain range. Therefore, he had led the warriors of his tribe to the 8 desolate mountain range. However, he didn't expect the Beaming tribe to be first. Neither tribe was willing to let the other enter the seal first. Thus, there was a stalemate here. Bah, Silver Rock, the 3 pink devils have already been chased out of your tribe. How can you call yourself a member of the Ping tribe? If you have the ability, come down from the sky. Let's fight for 300 rounds. Whoever wins will enter the seal first. Rita scolded angrily. This crazy woman. Only an idiot would fight with her. On land, the Beaming tribe's strength was second only to the Elephant tribe. Silver Rock's heart was palpitating. The Beaming tribe's strength was astonishing. Furthermore, their physical bodies were very strong. He had heard that Rita had already fused with a part of the Beaming King Sarira. Her strength was already astonishing. If they were to fight on land, wouldn't he be smashed into a meat patty by Rita? Naturally, Silver Rock wasn't willing to come down and compete with Rita. Thus, Rita's words flew out one after another. She said, "Are you a man or not? Are you missing a part?" As the young master of the tribe, Silver Rock had never been so sullen before. Rita, you ugly woman. No wonder Purple would hide every time he sees you. An ugly woman from the Middle Orc tribe dares to admire the young master of the Upper Orc tribe. You are simply a toad lusting after a swan's meat. Silver Rock was so angry that he flapped his wings and sneered. Among the descendants of the Beaming tribe, Rita from the Beaming tribe had a crush on Purple from the D tribe. Hu Linglong from the Celestial Fox people had a crush on Green. These matters were known to all the descendants of the Beaming tribe. Hu Linglong was beautiful. She had a crush on Green, which attracted the envy of the other descendants of the Bakra orcs. Rita from the Beaming tribe was different. She was taller than the average Bakra orcs. Her skin was thick and dark. Most importantly, her nose was like a wild boar's. Such an ugly woman, of all people, had a crush on Purple from the D tribe. The D tribe was similar to the celestial fox tribe. They were rich in beautiful men. Moreover, the status of the D tribe was much higher than the celestial fox tribe. The D tribe was the upper orc tribe among the Bakra orcs. Rita's matter had always been a joke among the descendants of the Beaming tribe. After Silver Rock's joke, the rock warriors behind him also let out ear-piercing laughter. To Rita and the other warriors of the Beaming tribe, their laughter was very sarcastic. There will be more updates today. Please give me all kinds of votes. Chapter 1247. The Silver Rock was also fearless. Among the 8 Wastelands Beast clans, the Beaming clan was the strongest. However, they had a weakness. Because their bodies were too heavy, the Beaming clan was the only beast clan that couldn't fly. This greatly limited their combat ability. Silver Rock and the rest dared to provoke Rita again and again because of this reason. So what if they angered this ugly woman to death? She could not fly into the sky. Pigs could never climb trees. Rita hated it when people used Purple to mock her. Her face was red and her shoulders were trembling because of the atmosphere. Suddenly, 2 purple golden hammers appeared in her hands and she smashed them together. The power of the 2 purple golden hammers was not to be underestimated. When the hammers collided with each other, there was a dazzling purple fighting aura around them. They were like shooting stars and their speed was shocking. Warriors, back off. Silver Rock laughed, but he did not dare to underestimate Rita. He could tell that the purple golden hammers were not to be underestimated. The purple golden hammers made a weird sound in the air. The weird sound was like thunder. Suddenly, a few purple golden lightning bolts appeared in the sky. Several streaks of lightning struck a few feathery ping race's warriors, striking 3 or 4 of them to the ground. They fell from the sky and smashed into smithereens, unable to resist at all. Rita had killed 3 to 4 winged ping warriors without even attacking. Silver Rock was shocked by Rita's ferocity. He stared at the 2 purple golden hammers in Rita's hands as if he had seen a ghost. God's Fury Hammer. Rita, you actually obtained the first Behemoth King's divine weapon. God's Fury Hammer. Silver Rock had heard that the first Behemoth King was a legendary warrior with shocking strength. It was said that he had single-handedly killed over 1,000 human warriors. He had a pair of godly hammers. Its power was comparable to the 8 barren divine weapons in the Boundless Land. It could fuse the power of lightning and combat techniques together. That's right. When I was in the 8 barren blood beast world, not only did I find the Behemoth King Sarira, I also found the God's Fury Hammer. Rita looked like a careless person, but she was actually very meticulous. In the blood beast world, she found a chance to enter the Behemoth King's tomb. In the King's tomb, she coincidentally obtained the God's Fury. At that time, she did not leak the news. After returning to the Behemoth tribe, he learned how to control God's wrath with the help of the elders in the tribe. She originally wanted to use the God's wrath to show off her skills in the clan competition. It would be best if she could use this to let the Beaming clan take a step forward in this Bahuang clan competition. It would be best if they could become an upper beast clan. Rita believed that there was no way to change her appearance. She was jealous that Rita had obtained the God's Fury. Therefore, she kept provoking Rita with her words. If I say no, it means no. Or does the Celestial Fox tribe want to fight with the warriors of the Behemoth tribe? Rita glared at Hu Linglong. Oh, is that really the case? What do you think, young clan leader? Yu Shang smiled and walked forward. Her blue and green eyes only needed to look at Silver Rock's face. Silver Rock felt his mind sway. He didn't know where he was anymore. Young clan leader Silver Rock, I am Yushang. I would like to cooperate with the Winged Ping tribe. In his days, he seemed to hear Yushang's voice in his ear. Rita, who do you think you are? This ancient seal clearly belongs to the Winged Ping tribe. These ladies from the Celestial Fox tribe are honored guests that I have invited. They are clearly from the Winged Ping tribe. Silver Rock had been blinded by lust. He didn't know that he had already been affected by Yushang's corpse puppet technique. He thought of Yushang and the others as his own people. Just as he was feeling disoriented, he suddenly felt a chill on his back. Before he could turn around, he felt a sharp pain on his back. He screamed and fell from the sky. Chapter 1248. Quick, save the young clan leader. The Winged Rock warriors were shocked and they saw the young clan leader suddenly fall from the sky. They quickly swarmed forward and rescued the Silver Rock young clan leader. They looked behind their young clan head and saw that there was an arrow stuck in his back. Who dares to attack the young clan leader? The Winged Rock warriors were furious. Idiots, I'm clearly the savior of your young clan leader. If I hadn't been faster with that arrow, your young clan leader would have been controlled by the Celestial Fox tribe's corpse puppet technique. He wouldn't even recognize his ancestors anymore. A disdainful female voice came from behind. Two beautiful women and an unfamiliar middle-aged man strolled over. The two women were naturally Yunxing and Lu Yunchuang. As for the middle-aged man, he was the leader of the three Winged Rock demons, whose life had been saved by Yunxing. Yunxing was worried that the leader Winged Rock would encounter the Winged Rock tribe and start another conflict, so she simply asked him to disguise himself. Now was not the time to expose the leader Winged Rock's identity. Without his three deformed heads, the leader Winged Rock deliberately disguised himself as a hunter. He looked like a completely different person. Even Qin Yu could not recognize the leader Winged Rock for a moment, let alone the Winged Rock tribe. It's you. Yushang was furious. Just now, she had almost taken control of the young clan leader of the Winged Rock tribe. Yunxing's arrow had destroyed her corpse puppet technique. When Rita saw Yunxing and Lu Yunchuang's outstanding appearances, she was displeased. What was going on? Why did all the women of the Celestial Fox tribe come to the 8 Desolate Mountain Range? Could it be that the Celestial Fox tribe had also received news that there was an inheritance pillar forest here? That was impossible. They had clearly sealed off the news. How dare you stab me in the back? Capture her. Silver Rock was in a sorry state. He vented his anger on Yunxing and the others. Young clan leader, you saw clearly that I shot the arrow to save you. If I really wanted to hurt you, why would I need to use the arrow? Yunxing said unhurriedly. As soon as Yunxing finished speaking, the Silver Rock young clan leader hurriedly ordered someone to take out the arrow wound on his back. Just as Yunxing said, the arrowhead of the arrow had been broken. This woman had actually used only the arrow shaft to shoot the young clan leader. Furthermore, the arrow shaft had penetrated 2 inches deep into his flesh. The Ping race's warriors all looked at each other in dismay. Yin Peng was not seriously injured, but his face was even more gloomy. He was actually scared half to death by an arrow without an arrowhead. If this were to spread out, wouldn't he lose all his face? Humph, what a useless man. His legs go soft when he sees a woman. If old Patriarch Peng Yu were to see you like this, he would be so angry that he would vomit blood. Rita sneered. Yunxing's words changed Rita's impression of her slightly. Although that arrow had broken the corpse puppet technique in name, it had also helped Rita vent her anger. Rita looked at Yunxing again. When she saw Yunxing's face clearly, she could not help but ask curiously, "You are Hu Xing?" Hu Xing had gone missing a long time ago. Moreover, Hu Xing was so weak that he could not even truss up a chicken. She was not Hu Xing. Rita, Hu Linglong, He Linlin, and Hu Xing were the few women among the descendants of the Octoterra beasts, so they were quite familiar with each other. She's not Hu Xing. She's an imposter. This woman colluded with the pink demons and killed the celestial fox saintess candidate. She has ulterior motives and is a serious criminal of the celestial fox tribe. I was just about to look for her when she came knocking on my door. Hu Linglong was furious when she saw Yun Xing. She and the other celestial fox saintess candidates surrounded Yun Xing and Lu Yunshuang without any explanation. The pink demons. Where are the three great demons? When the Silver Rock and the Ping warriors heard this, they were all on guard. The Ping demons were also serious criminals who supported the Feather tribe. Hu Linglong, you have to show evidence before you speak. Which eye of yours saw us colluding with the Ping demons? Where are the three of them? We just met this big brother hunter who hunts in the Octoterra Mountains all year round. He said that there was a strange seal here, so we rushed over. Or do you think that this big brother is the Ping demons? Yun Xing did not blush nor did her heart race. She had already guessed that Qin Yu would cause trouble after escaping. However, she did not expect this woman to confuse right and wrong and push all the blame onto them. Everyone looked at them again. Apart from the middle-aged man dressed as a hunter, there was only Lu Yunshuang. No matter how they looked at it, that middle-aged man did not look like the Ping demons. The beast tribes of the Octoterra Mountains naturally did not expect that Yun Xing could use the miraculous modern medical skills and the elixir of life to change the face of the Ping demons in such a short time. Qin Yu killed Hua Yanluo and Feng Lian. She also violated the Celestial Fox tribe's taboo by devouring their hearts. If we're talking about serious criminals, she's the real serious one. Lu Yunshuang, who had been silent all this while, stared coldly at Qin Yu. Devouring their hearts. As soon as she said this, the expressions of the people of the Celestial Fox tribe changed drastically. Devouring hearts and forcibly absorbing a person's cultivation base and inheritance was a taboo in the Celestial Fox tribe. In terms of crimes, the crime of devouring hearts was even more serious than murder. Lady Linglong, Miss Yu Shang, you must believe me. I didn't do that. It was clearly Yun Xing and Lu Yunshuang who killed Hua Yanluo and Feng Lian. I escaped. They framed me to clear their names. Qin Yu's face was pale and her body trembled violently. She put on a pitiful look. Yu Shang and Hu Linglong hesitated. If Yun Xing had said those words alone, they might not have believed her, but Lu Yunshuang had said it. Lu Yunshuang was born a pure ice fox. In the Celestial Fox tribe, her status and bloodline were also very noble. She was cold and straightforward, never meddling in other people's business. It was even more impossible for her to make false accusations. Enough. There's no proof. The dead tell no tales, and there's no way to find the Ping demons. The three of you are guilty. We'll make a decision after we return to the Celestial Fox tribe. After a discussion between Yu Shang and Hu Linglong, they decided not to pursue any responsibility for the time being. The two women also had their own considerations. The ancient seal was right in front of them. The Beaming tribe and the Ping tribe had a large number of people. Instead of wasting their time on who the real culprit was, they might as well go back and pursue the matter. After all, they did not know how dangerous the situation inside the ancient seal was. The Ping demons, who had entered the ancient seal, were nowhere to be found. Perhaps they would not have the chance to come out after entering the seal. Qin Yu, don't celebrate too early. After we leave the 8 desolate mountain range, I'll be the first to come after you. Lu Yunshuang snorted. Hu Linglong, are you saying that the Celestial Fox tribe also wants to enter the ancient seal? Silver Rock and Rita asked at the same time. Chapter 1249. The Behemoth tribe and the Winged Rock tribe discovered the ancient seal almost at the same time. The two clans were glad that no other beast clans had discovered the ancient seal. The Behemoth and Pengyu clans were both middle-ranked beast clans. The strength of the two clans was about the same. If they really wanted to compare, they would be evenly matched at most. However, the sudden appearance of the Celestial Fox tribe displeased both the Behemoth tribe and the Winged Rock tribe. After all, the more forces that entered, the more fights there would be. Silver Rock and Rita were at a stalemate. They did not enter the ancient seal. Their strength was on par with each other, and neither was willing to enter the ancient seal first. It was common knowledge that the Celestial Fox tribe was the weakest of the Bakra orcs. These women were only candidates for the Celestial Fox Saintess. What right did they have to be on equal footing with the legitimate heirs of the Bakra orcs to split the ancient seal? Hu Linglong did not have much confidence in facing Rita and Silver Rock. She did not reply immediately. That's right. The ancient seal is an ownerless object. Anyone who sees it has a share. Since the Celestial Fox tribe is one of the Bakra orcs, they naturally have the right to enter the ancient seal. Yunxing took a step forward when she saw the situation. If you want to enter, you'll have to get past me first. However, this young master was injured just now. I will send our Feathery Ping race's warriors to fight with you. Silver Peng was shot by Yunxing's arrow. His face was gloomy and he wanted Yunxing to suffer more. A man walked out from behind him as soon as he finished speaking. The man had a strong physique and a large bald head. His eyes were as sharp as blades. He looked heroic and intimidating with a cold glint in his eyes. Lu Yunshuang's body had just been purged of the decaying poison, so she was still rather weak. As for Boss Rock Tribe, he would easily expose his identity if he fought. Therefore, Yunsheng was the only one who could fight this battle. This man should be a powerful fighter from the Night Owl tribe. Most of the warriors from this tribe have inherited their eyes. Later, pay attention to his eyes. Boss Feather Rock said in a low voice. Yunsheng nodded. She walked out, and the Winged Rock warrior cupped his fists. I am Xiao Yun. Please enlighten me. As he spoke, a crack suddenly appeared on Xiao Yun's bald forehead. The crack grew larger and larger, and in the end, it directly transformed into a jade-colored eye. What is this? Yunsheng hesitated for a moment. However, during a competition, there was no room for distraction. Yunsheng immediately focused her attention and fought with all her might. Boom! Dark thorns sprouted from the ground one after another, and intense dark magic power gushed out from the ground. What a fast magic chant! The Behemoth race and Winged Rock race's clansmen were all shocked. They didn't even see Yunxing finish her incantation before Dark Thorns was completed. Although Xiao Yun was also surprised by Yunxing's magic incantation, he cleverly avoided the attack and remained unharmed. He was actually able to dodge her magic attack. Yunxing's eyes darkened. She waved the magic scepter in her hand, and the magic wings behind her flapped lightly. She nimbly floated in midair. A few soul stones on her magic scepter shone. In an instant, red, green, blue, and yellow magic attacks of various colors turned into streaks of light. Fire explosion, wind blade, water arrow, earth spike, and all sorts of other attacks emerged one after another. Your magic power is very pure. It's a pity that you have met me, Xiao Yun. Xiao Yun's body quickly flew into the air. His body moved like a graceful swan, and he actually dodged all of Yunxing's attacks. It's useless. Xiao Yun's third eye is something that even I can't do anything about. On the other side, the Winged Rock Race's clansmen secretly thought that Xiao Yun was forcing Yunxing to retreat. They all cheered. Yunxing's eyes narrowed slightly as she stared at Xiao Yun. She saw that the green eye on his forehead emitted a faint green light when he dodged her attacks. A hint of caution flashed past her eyes. Xiao Yun's strange body movements made Yunxing feel that he could predict the point of attack of each of her magic attacks. It seemed that Boss Rock was right. The inheritance of the Night Owl race was very special. If this continued, she would be exhausted because of the depletion of her magic power before the outcome of the battle could be determined. Yunxing stopped her magic attacks. Her eyes gradually turned golden. As if he could predict what kind of attack Yunxing was going to launch, Xiao Yun suddenly covered his eyes. His figure teleported, and he appeared behind Yunxing. Suddenly, a golden light burst out from Yunxing's magic scepter. The golden light was so strong that everyone present couldn't help but close their eyes. The strong light made them feel a slight burning pain in their eyes. Light-based magic, earth illumination, could cause an instant blinding effect. This was the first light-based magic that Yunxing had comprehended recently. Incredible. In addition to being proficient in the 4 elements of magic, this girl is also proficient in light-based magic. Xiao Yun dodged quickly and blocked Yunxing's light-based magic at the right time. But just as he was about to attack Yunxing from behind, Yunxing, who was still in front of him, suddenly disappeared. An ice-cold magic scepter was pressed against his neck. If you don't want to be beheaded, surrender. Yunxing stood behind Xiao Yun. This time, she was 1 step faster than Xiao Yun. How is that possible? I've clearly predicted your next move with the Eye of the Owl. How can you still do it? Xiao Yun didn't expect that he would be intercepted by Yunxing. He was also a top expert in the rock race, so this time, he was chosen to follow them into the 8 desolate mountain range. Who would have thought that he would be defeated by a delicate celestial fox girl? In this world, you're not the only one who can predict each other's movements. I have an inheritance that is not inferior to yours. Yunxing smiled faintly. Only then did Xiao Yun see that Yunxing's eyes were golden. Yunxing's Shenong pupil and Xiao Yun's Eye of the Owl were somewhat similar. But compared to Xiao Yun, Yunxing's Shenong pupil was a little better in the final battle. Xiao Yun was predicting her movements, but he didn't know that Yunxing had already predicted his next move with the Shenong pupil. Her light-based magic was just a smokescreen. Xiao Yun sighed and stepped aside. There's always someone better than you, Xiao Yun said. Young Master Silver Rock, now we should be able to enter the ancient seal, right? Yunxing smiled. Useless thing, you can't even deal with a woman. Silver Rock's face was as black as the bottom of a pot. He glared fiercely at Xiao Yun and waved his hand reluctantly. The rock warriors behind him could only retreat. The latter could only lower his head and remain silent. Failure meant that he had lost his position in the race. Thank you very much. Yunxing looked at Xiao Yun with some sympathy. This person was a man who could afford to lose. It was a pity that he had such a temperamental young master. The future of the rock race was really worrying. Chapter 1250. Seeing that Yunxing had defeated Xiao Yun, Lu Yunchuang and the rock feather boss breathed a sigh of relief. By the side, Hu Linglong and the others were also beaming with joy this time. Although Yunxing was a mixed blood, she was still a member of the Celestial Fox tribe. Her victory meant that they could also successfully enter the ancient seal. Yunxing, you've done well this time. However, your faults outweigh your merits. You're still a sinner. Why don't you step aside? I'll represent the Heavenly Fox tribe to negotiate the remaining matters. Hu Linglong quickly stepped forward. Who are you? Do we know each other that well? Yunxing glanced at Hu Linglong. Negotiating on behalf of the Celestial Fox tribe. This woman was really thick-skinned. She had such integrity. Where was she when the Rock Feather tribe stopped the Celestial Fox tribe from entering the Ancient Seal? What do you mean by that? I have the highest status here, and my status is the most honorable. It's perfectly normal for me to represent everyone. Hu Linglong's face was red with anger as she glared at Yunxing. I'm sorry, Hu Linglong. Are you too stupid, or is there something wrong with your brain? Have you forgotten something? Last night, who was the one who chased Yun Shuang and me out of the Celestial Fox camp on the grounds of majority rule? Yunxing questioned Hu Linglong aggressively. Hu Linglong was speechless. You have to take responsibility for your actions. Last night, you chased the two of us out. In other words, everything that we've done since last night has nothing to do with you. My victory only means that Yun Shuang, this Uncle Hunter, and I can enter the Ancient Seal. As for whether you want to enter, you'll have to rely on your own abilities. Yunxing spread her hands. She was not a saint. Hu Linglong and the others had chased them out so quickly last night that they wanted to reap without sowing. If she agreed, she would not be Yunxing. Linglong, don't argue with her. That woman is cunning. She knew that she wasn't a match for young clan leader Peng, so she framed me for using the corpse puppet technique. I don't know what method she used to defeat the Ping clan's warriors, Yu Shang said, looking at Yin Peng. When Yin Peng heard this, his anger from losing the competition immediately dissipated a little. He felt even more strongly that Yunxing had deliberately hurt him in the dark. Yu Shang was indeed not simple. Even in such a situation, she did not forget to rope in Yin Peng. Yunxing snorted and ignored Yu Shang's provocation. That's right. If we want to enter the Ancient Seal, we have to rely on our own abilities. If the Winged Ping race loses, we will let you in. However, my Beaming clan didn't agree to let you coquettish foxes in. Hu Linglong, if you guys want to enter the Ancient Seal to join in the fun, you'll have to get past me first. Who's fighting? Hu Linglong or you? Rita walked out. Hu Linglong looked hesitant. If she were to really compete with Rita, her original abilities should be similar. However, it was different now. Rita had the fury of God. Hu Linglong didn't want to get into a conflict with Rita. Otherwise, if this woman went crazy and smashed her beautiful face into pieces, it wouldn't be worth it. Yudi Yushang, representing the Celestial Fox tribe, will compete with this lady from the Beaming clan. However, this lady has a powerful weapon, so Yushang doesn't dare to force her way in. Yushang has a small request. My competition with young clan leader Rita will be decided in one move. After Yushang said this, she didn't forget to look at Yin Peng, as if asking for help. Sure enough, the Silver Rock Junior clan leader felt his bones go soft. Rita, you're considered a famous expert. How can you make things difficult for a weak lady? This competition is not fair at all. Yin Peng, are you blind or kicked in the head by a mule? If you want to feel sorry for her, come and compete with me yourself. If I don't cripple you with one strike of my hammer, my name isn't Rita. Rita was annoyed. Men were indeed animals who only looked at appearances. How was this woman called Yushang weak? Rita had grown up and knew that women who looked harmless were actually all hiding daggers in their smiles. As a woman, Rita could already feel that Yushang's vibe was much stronger than Hu Linglong's. However, Yushang's words had some effect. At least, the Ping clan and the Celestial Fox people looked at Rita as if she had bullied Yushang. This made Rita very angry. The women of the Celestial Fox tribe are indeed cunning. If I don't agree, others will say that I won with an unfair advantage. So be it, I agree to compete with you in one move. If you can remain undefeated after one move, you win. Rita retracted her god's fury and patted her chest with a heroic look on her face. TSK, she still fell for it. Yunsheng shook her head as she watched from the side. Yushang was a cunning and sinister woman. Her origin was mysterious, and she was a six-tailed celestial fox. Moreover, the inheritance she had was evil. Last time, during the written exam at the Celestial Fox Shrine, Yunsheng had almost fallen for her trick. Rita of the Beaming clan might look crude, but she was a straightforward person. If she agreed to Yushang's suggestion, she would definitely be at a disadvantage later. Unfortunately, Yunsheng was only a spectator and couldn't interfere with the competition. Rita and Yushang agreed to compete in one move. Rita drew a circle on the spot. Later, you will stand in this circle. I will make one move. If you are still in the circle after one move, you win, Rita said. Alright, it's a deal. Young matriarch Rita, please enlighten me. Yushang walked into the circle with a smile on her face. Rita walked to a spot a foot away from the circle. Her ugly face revealed a grave expression. A thick fighting aura was gathering in her body. Rita's fighting aura was very special. After it was gathered, the fighting aura spun rapidly around her like a spiral. As more and more combat aura gathered, Rita's 2-meter-tall, meat mountain-like body was completely surrounded by the combat aura that was spinning at a high speed. Her entire body began to spin like a top. Is this woman planning to use Rita's peerless strike? Yin Peng was shocked by Rita's posture. The Beaming clan had astonishing strength, and Rita's strength was one of the best among the Beaming clan. She had an inheritance that she had awakened called Rita's peerless strike. That strike was truly earth-shattering. Rita seemed to be letting Yushang go, but in reality, she had set up a double insurance. Rita's fighting aura was compressed to the extreme, and her entire body turned into a flaming wheel. Whoosh! With shocking speed, Rita attacked Yushang with lightning speed. On the ground, where Rita's cableway was, the ground was quickly drilled into a ditch. Yushang's blue-green eyes shone brightly. Thank you for your tickets and tips. Chapter 1251. Yushang was very cunning. She was an old monster who had lived for God knows how long. She always thought that even if Yunsheng and Rita were strong, they were still young girls who had lived for only a few decades. They were still wet behind the ears. How could they be her match when it came to scheming? Yushang pretended to be pitiful to gain the sympathy of others. She wanted to win the competition with one move. She didn't expect Rita to be angered by Yushang's pretense. She used her family's inheritance as soon as she entered the arena. Seeing that Rita was getting closer and closer, sparks flew out from the friction of the combat aura spinning top. It's a pity that such a delicate beauty is going to be ruined this time. Rita, that ugly monster, must be doing this on purpose. Silver Rock Jr. Patriarch had a pained expression. Just when everyone thought Yushang was going to die under Rita's tyrannical inheritance, Rita had already rushed into the circle and sent Yushang flying. A black figure landed heavily on the ground. Everyone looked closely. The person on the ground was already in a pile of meat. His facial features couldn't be seen at all. However, his muscular body and attire showed that he wasn't Yushang. Junior Patriarch Rita, it seems like I won this competition. Amidst the giggling, Yushang, who should have been lying on the ground, was still standing in the circle, perfectly fine. Yushang flicked her long hair. Her blue-green eyes were filled with pride. How to? Rita realized that one of her behemoth warriors was missing. The one who was hit by her Rita's peerless strike was her capable subordinate, the behemoth warrior How Tuesday. She didn't expect her Rita's peerless strike to be used on a fellow warrior. She looked at Yushang again. How did she do it? Rita clearly felt that she had sent Yu Shang flying just now. Junior Patriarch Rita, don't look like you're going to swallow me. I didn't use any despicable means. I used one of the Celestial Fox's inheritances, grafting flowers on trees. Yu Shang chuckled. She had no sympathy for the behemoth warrior who took a hit for her. The behemoth warrior who had taken Yu Shang's place died before he could catch his breath. The warriors of the behemoth clan were grief-stricken. Rita's eyes also turned red. Grafting flowers on trees. There was actually such an inheritance in the Celestial Fox tribe. Lu Yunchuang and everyone else felt chills run down their spines. What a tyrannical Celestial Fox inheritance. It forcefully transferred the enemy's attack to another person. The whole process was impossible to guard against. Since when did the inheritance of Celestial Fox have such an unreasonable inheritance? Could this be an inheritance unique to the bloodline of Yudu? From spectral eyes to grafting flowers onto trees, this jade garment of Yudu wasn't simple. Don't worry too much. Such a heaven-defying inheritance must have its limitations. Although Yunsheng was also shocked, she still comforted Lu Yunchuang. Yunsheng thought that if Yu Shang's inheritance was truly flawless, it would be invincible. No one was perfect, and no inheritance was perfect. Therefore, Yu Shang's inheritance, grafting flowers onto trees, must have its own weaknesses. Yunsheng's guess was right. Yu Shang's Celestial Fox inheritance was indeed heaven-defying, but it also had many limitations. After grafting flowers onto trees was used once, it could not be used a second time within a day. Moreover, the target had to be within 10 feet of the user. Beyond this distance, the inheritance could not be used. Otherwise, with Yu Shang's personality, she would have chosen either Yunsheng or Lu Yunchuang to be the target. After all, Yunsheng and Lu Yunchuang were Yu Shang's biggest competitors in this Celestial Fox combat examination. The behemoth warrior just now was also unlucky. He was standing within 10 feet of Yu Shang, and Yu Shang wanted to take the opportunity to teach Rita a lesson, so she grabbed a behemoth warrior and made him her scapegoat. Haha, Rita, you really deserve it this time. Silver Rock of the Winged Rocks and the other warriors were gloating. Yu Shang looked relaxed on the surface, but she was actually gnashing her teeth in anger. Grafting flowers onto trees was one of Yu Shang's secret moves. Due to her special status, Yu Shang did not want to reveal her inheritance too early. However, she did not expect Rita to be so ruthless. She used Rita's peerless strike right from the start. Yu Shang did not have any room to maneuver, so she had no choice but to use grafting flowers onto trees. Miss Yu Shang, you're really smart. Grafting flowers onto trees is a good move. I've seen so many Celestial Fox inheritances, and Miss Yu Shang's inheritance is definitely among the top 5. Silver Rock's eyes lit up, and he looked at Yu Shang in a different light. Silver Rock's praise offended the other Celestial Fox Saintess candidates, especially Hu Lingling. She was originally very happy because Yu Shang's victory meant that they would be able to enter the Ancient Seal. However, Yu Shang's inheritance was truly terrifying. If she had used this transplant on her just now, wouldn't she have turned into a pile of blurry meat paste like that behemoth warrior? Qin Yu, who was watching from the side, was both frightened and happy. She thought to herself that compared to Yu Shang's inheritance, Hua Yanluo's and Feng Lian's inheritances were nothing. If she had the chance to devour Yu Shang's heart, would she also have the chance to cultivate such a powerful inheritance? You're called Yu Shang, right? You're good, Rita said through gritted teeth. Since she had lost, Rita had no choice but to step aside. With that, the remaining 10 or so Celestial Fox Saintess candidates from the Celestial Fox tribe were all qualified to enter the Ancient Seal. I've said it before. Even without that lowly heavenly fox, we can still enter the Ancient Seal. Hu Linglong had a complacent look on her face. At this point, the factions that had entered the ancient seal were clearly distinguished. Yunxing, Lu Yunchuang, and the leader of the Winged Rocks were in the same group. Yu Shang, Hu Linglong, Qin Yu, and the others were also in the same group. Rita led her behemoth warriors while Silver Rock led the Winged Rocks warriors into the ancient sealed area. This is the ancient seal. Why is it a valley? Yunxing and Lu Yunchuang were in a hurry, so they did not manage to get much information about the ancient seal from Boss Rock. The ancient seal is actually the place where the ancestors of the 8 Wilderness Continent arrived when they first arrived at the 8 Wilderness Continent. It said that this area belonged to the natives of the 8 Wilderness Continent and was owned by a very powerful magical beast kingdom. In order to survive in the 8 Wilderness Continent, the ancestors and the native magical beasts fought to the death. It's safe to say that almost half of the ancestors of the Bakra orcs are buried here, Boss Rock whispered to Yunxing and the others. Chapter 1252. Since the 3 Winged Rocks had already told their 2 good friends about the situation in the ancient seal, the people of the Beaming clan and the Winged Rocks clan more or less knew about the ancient seal. In comparison, Hu Linglong and the others knew the least. The ancient seal in the 8 Desolation Mountain Range was formed by a semi-sealed valley. At a glance, the entrance of the valley was desolate. The soil in the valley was slightly red, as if it was soaked in blood. There was only one entrance to the valley. The entrance was filled with thick fog all year round, making it difficult to see what was inside the valley. Let's go in. Rita of the Beaming tribe led her warriors into the valley. Don't let the Beaming tribe take the lead. Let's follow. Yin Peng was not to be outdone. He led a group of Peng warriors and disappeared into the thick fog. Let's go. Hu Linglong and the other Celestial Fox Saintess candidates followed closely behind. Yu Shang stood at the entrance of the valley for a moment as if she was recalling something. In the end, she also entered the valley. Boss Peng, you're the most familiar with the terrain. Lead the way. Yunxing and the other 2 entered the valley. Not long after everyone entered the ancient seal, a black figure flashed past and headed to the other side of the 8 Desolation Mountain Range. Deputy Patriarch, the Beaming Tribe, Celestial Fox Tribe, and Peng Tribe are all inside. This subordinate has personally witnessed the behemoths Rita, the Peng Feather Silver Peng, the Heavenly Fox Tribes Hu Linglong, and the others have all entered the ancient seal. A black Qilin tribe warrior respectfully knelt in front of the man. The man had a tall nose and a cold gaze. The dark aura emitted from his tall figure was intimidating. The former emperor of the later Qin dynasty, Duge Xiu, and the current deputy patriarch of the Black Qilin tribe, also appeared in the 8 Desolation Mountain Range. However, the Beaming tribe and the Peng tribe were different. Their encampments were far away from the ancient seal. In the encampment, there were close to 1,000 black Qilin warriors. They wore iron armor and held sharp bayonets. They were very disciplined. In the Black Qilin tribe's encampment, pillar-shaped objects were actually placed in disorder. If Boss Pingyu, Yu Shang and the others were here, they would realize that these pearl-shaped objects were the 8 Wastelands inheritance pillars that countless Bakra orcs sought after. Most of these inheritance pillars were intact. It looked like they had been forcefully taken out. Not only were there totems of the Black Qilin tribe on the heritage bamboo, there were also many other Bakra orcs' heritage pillars. Behemoth, Celestial Fox, Peng Feather. Unfortunately, they are all middle and lower level beasts. The people of the 9-1 tribe and the D clan have not come. Duge Xiu looked at the valley where the ancient seal was located. That valley was really strange. If he hadn't been fully prepared this time, he might have lost a lot of people in the valley. The Beaming tribe, the Peng tribe, and the weakest tribe, the Celestial Fox tribe, actually dared to barge in. What awaited them was not the inheritance pillar, but the terrifying traps and the battle spirits of the ancient battlefield. Under Dugashio's fiery red hair, his eyes were as deep as an empty well. Vice Clan Leader, you have great foresight. Luckily, we entered the ancient seal early and collected a large number of inheritance pillars. Beaming Pink Feather, and even Boss Pink Feather didn't expect that the first tribe to rush to the ancient seal was the Black Chelan tribe. When the three Pink Demons leaked the news of the ancient seal, the people of the Black Chelan tribe mixed in with the Behemoth tribe, and the Pink Feather tribe had already set their sights on this mountain range. He Yao immediately accepted Dugashio's fate and headed to the ancient seal. Dugashio didn't disappoint. In the ancient seal, he obtained a large number of inheritance pillars. The Black Chelan tribe's inheritance pillars were all collected. As for the inheritance pillars of the other tribes, Dugashio had already taken away those that were convenient. Those that couldn't be taken away were mostly the more troublesome or ineffective inheritance pillars. It's a pity that the seal around the eye of the seal cannot be broken. Dugashio's only regret was that he couldn't find the eye of the seal after entering the ancient seal. There was a very strong barrier around the eye of the seal. Even if Dugashio used all his strength, he couldn't successfully enter. Even the Vice Clan Leader couldn't enter, not to mention the descendants of the Bang tribe. The warriors of the Black Chelan tribe were very obedient to Dugashio. Who would have thought that when Dugashio first came to the Black Chelan tribe, the entire Black Chelan tribe was dissatisfied with him? This continued until he defeated the number one warrior of the Black Chelan tribe in a public competition. After that, he displayed no less talent than the patriarch of the Black Chelan tribe in the handling of the tribe's affairs. Only then was the injustice in the tribe suppressed. This time, if the descendants of the three great Bakra orcs were successfully killed in the ancient seal, the Vice Clan Leader's reputation in the Black Chelan tribe would undoubtedly rise to another level. Don't lower your guard. During this period of time, all of you will guard beside the ancient seal. If you discover any survivors, kill them without mercy. Dugashio said coldly. He looked at the inheritance pillars that he had collected and ordered the Black Chelan warriors under him to transport a portion of them back to the Black Chelan tribe. Dugashio gave up everything in the boundless land and came to the Bang tribe. How could he be satisfied with just being the Vice Clan Leader? In these few years, he had been in seclusion in the Black Chelan tribe and painstakingly cultivated under the supercilious eyes of everyone. To Dugashio, who was once the later Qin emperor and stood above millions of people, this was undoubtedly a kind of torture. Fortunately, those days didn't last for long. Regardless of whether it was the Bang tribe or the boundless land, there was one thing that was constant and unchanging. That was, the strong were everything. His goal wasn't as simple as defeating the number one warrior of the Black Chelan tribe. Hey Lin Lin, that arrogant woman, she would eventually be defeated by him. In this Bang tribe competition, Dugashio wanted to use his own strength to obtain first place in the Bang tribe competition. As long as he obtained first place, he would be qualified to enter the Beast God altar and receive the strongest baptism of the Beast God altar. He would also be able to meet the legendary first priest of the Beast God altar. Only the first priest could help him break the curse of the ancient Chelan king. The Celestial Fox tribe. Hearing this familiar name, Dugashio's heart that had been silent for a long time started to beat vigorously again. Yun Xing. That woman, his woman, he didn't know how she was doing now. When he stepped onto the peak of the Bang tribe, it would be the time for him to kill his way back to the boundless land and take back the woman that he hated and loved. Chapter 1253. After passing through the white mist in the valley, Yun Xing and the others finally entered the ancient seal. The moment they stepped into the ancient seal, Yun Xing felt her eyelids twitch violently. An ominous premonition crept up from the soles of her feet. She had a nagging feeling that something was amiss with this ancient seal. Perhaps I'm being paranoid. With Boss Pingyu around, there shouldn't be any slip-ups. Yunsheng steadied her emotions. Yunsheng was different from the others. Although they had the smallest number of people, they had Boss Pingyu in disguise in their camp. The three Ping demons had entered the ancient seal before. Although they were forced to retreat in the end, they managed to escape successfully in the end. This also meant that after Yunsheng and the others entered the ancient seal this time, Yunsheng and the others would have a much greater chance of escaping from the seal. So many inheritance pillars. The other tribes who had entered the ancient seal before Yunsheng and the others, including Hu Linglong and the others, let out joyful cries of surprise. Unlike the narrow entrance to the valley, after entering the valley, the terrain was much more open. Many inheritance pillars were planted on the wide mountain path in the valley. For most Bakra orcs on the mainland, apart from a small number of Bakra orcs nobles and direct bloodlines, very few people could directly come into contact with the inheritance pillars. It was no wonder that the crowd cheered so loudly. Yunsheng, look, there are inheritance pillars here too. Not far from Yunsheng and Lu Yunshuang were 2 or 3 inheritance pillars. This was also Yunsheng's first time seeing a real inheritance pillar. Previously, when she had studied Celestial Fox's inheritance, she had either relied on her own comprehension or the inheritance she had copied down. The inheritance pillars looked as if they had been carved out of ivory. Each pillar was as white as jade. Every inheritance pillar represented the sacrifice of an ancient beast descendant of the 8 Desolates. Only right before their deaths would the beasts of the 8 Desolates condense their cultivation into an eternal inheritance pillar. Even someone as aloof as Lu Yunshuang could not help but feel her soul sway when she saw the painstaking efforts left behind by her ancestors. Don't be happy too early. This is just the outermost area of the seal. These inheritance pillars are also the most inferior inheritance pillars. Most of the inheritances recorded on them have already lost their effectiveness. Boss Rockfeather had been to this region before. When the 3 Pink Devils entered the valley, they were pleasantly surprised for a while. However, when they saw it clearly, disappointment replaced surprise. Yunsheng and Lu Yunshuang walked forward and found that the pillars were completely blank. It's a pity that too much time has passed. The power of inheritance on the inheritance pillar has already dissipated, Lu Yunshuang lamented. Ladies, there's something I need to remind you of. Before you find the most suitable inheritance pillar for you, even if you find one that's still effective, don't touch the pillar. Otherwise, if you touch the inheritance pillar rashly and are forced to learn the inheritance pillar will be full and you won't be able to comprehend more advanced inheritances. Then, the loss will outweigh the gain. Boss Rockfeather was the most experienced among the 3 of them. He also knew the most about inheritance pillars. He told Yunsheng and the others that different Bakra orcs had left behind different inheritance pillars. For example, most of the inheritance pillars of the Celestial Fox tribe were engraved with the symbol of the Celestial Fox. It was the same for other beast tribes. Since each Bakra orcs could only obtain a limited number of inheritances, Yunsheng and Lu Yunshuang could only choose the most suitable inheritance pillar for them to absorb. I can still absorb 2 inheritances. Lu Yunshuang was a 5-tailed celestial fox. She had already comprehended 3 inheritances. I can also absorb 2 inheritances. Looks like we can only go deeper and make a decision later. Yunsheng had already comprehended 4 inheritances. After witnessing Yushang's special inheritance of grafting, Yunsheng also understood that she could not be blindly greedy when choosing an inheritance. She had to combine her own strength and try her best to choose the strongest inheritance that she could withstand. Just as Boss Rockfeather had said, the stronger the inheritance, the deeper it was in the ancient seal. Now was not the time to be happy. TSK, what a scam. They're all blank. Isn't this making us happy for nothing? A Rockfeather tribe warrior happily found an inheritance pillar. However, when he approached it, he found that it was an empty inheritance pillar. He was instantly enraged and punched the inheritance pillar. With this punch, the inheritance pillar cracked. The moment the stone chips flew up, a wisp of green smoke drifted out from the inheritance pillar. The green smoke formed a war spectre with a green face and sharp fangs. It held a bloody battle axe in its hand and was more than 2 meters tall. It was a war spectre from the Beaming tribe. The inheritance pillars were left behind by the ancestors of the ancient Beaming tribe. Each inheritance pillar was like an ancient ancestor of the Beaming tribe and should be revered by all. This Rock Feather tribe warrior had rashly desecrated the inheritance pillars and attracted the war spectre. The war spectre was full of murderous aura. It swung its huge, murderous axe and slashed at the Rock Feather tribe warrior. Blood splattered everywhere. Woo woo, Reckless Jr., how dare you look down on the ancient power? Die! The war spectre tasted blood and howled like a wolf or a tiger. As it howled, the empty inheritance pillars cracked. War specters of different races of Bakra orcs appeared from each inheritance pillar. There were Beaming tribe warriors, Rock Feather tribe warriors, Boss Serpent warriors, and others. In an instant, a large number of war specters appeared in the originally empty valley. These war specters immediately transformed into their beast forms. Their attack power was astonishing. In the blink of an eye, they killed many Beaming tribe warriors. This is bad. Let's go. Boss Rock Feather yelled. Yunsheng and Lu Yunshuang also knew that the situation was not good. These specters transformed from the inheritance pillars were powerful. There were many of them. If they surrounded them, no matter how skilled they were, they would not be able to escape. Silver Rock, look at what your subordinates have done. Rita was also flustered and exasperated. She led a group of Beaming tribe warriors and charged into the war specters, trying to carve out a bloody path. Boss Rock Feather had been to the ancient seal before, so he was very familiar with the paths in the valley. He led Yunsheng and the others and quickly fled the scene. However, at that moment, Yunsheng heard a wave of magical energy behind them. Yushang led a group of Celestial Fox tribe Saintess candidates. They were almost side by side as they retreated toward the safe zone. Why was she so familiar with the terrain here? Yunsheng could not help but wonder. Boss Rock Feather had been here before, so it was not strange that he knew the path. However, how could Yushang be so familiar with the path as well? The area up ahead is safe. Follow me. Yushang also looked at Yunsheng and the others strangely. However, the situation was urgent and she had no time to pay attention to Yunsheng and the others. Chapter 1254. Rita and Silver Rock soon noticed that Yunsheng, Yushang, and the others had found a safe path. Follow them. The warriors of the Behemoth and Winged Ping tribes, who had been fighting a bloody battle, joined the ranks of those fleeing after breaking through the encirclement of the war spirits. After running for half an hour, the war spirits were still in hot pursuit. If I remember correctly, there should be an inheritance light pillar ahead. Those boundaries should be able to resist the war spirits to a certain extent. The eldest Winged Ping tribe leader could not reveal his identity, so he did not dare to use his full strength along the way. He was still carried by Yunsheng and Lu Yunshuang by one arm each as they fled. The few Saintess candidates from the Celestial Fox tribe were also drenched in sweat. Fortunately, these Celestial Fox Saintess candidates did not suffer any casualties because they had escaped in time. In comparison, the Behemoth and Winged Ping tribes were in a much worse state. Especially the Winged Ping tribe. As they had directly provoked the war spirits, dozens of their warriors were killed by the war spirits. Unlike the scattered inheritance pillars in the periphery, most of the inheritance pillars in the central region were left behind by the true powerhouses of the ancient Bakra orcs. Compared to the periphery of the valley, the boundaries here were stronger. Some of the weaker behemoth and winged ping warriors could not break through the boundaries and could only stay on the periphery. Even in death, they still retained the pride of a powerhouse. The will of the powerhouses formed this boundary, preventing the war spirits from advancing. Not only was there a boundary in this region, but not all Bakra orcs could enter. This boundary was to select the most suitable descendants of the Bakra orcs to enter the boundary. However, everyone could not stay in this boundary for more than 3 days and 3 nights. Otherwise, they would be automatically ejected by the boundary. Only the true powerhouses of the Bakra orcs could gain the recognition of the masters of these ancient inheritance pillars and obtain the superior inheritance. As expected, the war spirits were blocked outside the light pillars. They fought with the behemoth and winged ping warriors who could not enter the boundary. The battle was tragic. Faced with such a situation, Rita and Silver Rock could do nothing but rage. When they entered the ancient seal, they knew that there would be casualties. However, when they saw that the Celestial Fox tribe, which was the weakest tribe, was unharmed, they could not help but feel even more frustrated. How did you know the route in the valley? Rita questioned Yushang and the others. Young clan leader, Rita, you're wrong. We're not the only ones running. Yushang glanced at Yunxing, implying that they were just following the others. There are only a few paths in the valley, Silver Rock orcs, Silver. On the other hand, young clan leader Silver Rock, I'll have to trouble you to discipline your subordinates properly. If it weren't for them breaking the inheritance pillar, it wouldn't have attracted any war aura. Young Patriarch, this subordinate's mind was muddled for a moment. When this subordinate approached the inheritance pillar, this subordinate felt a voice in his head telling this subordinate to break the inheritance pillar. The winged ping warrior who had rashly broken the inheritance pillar hurriedly knelt on the ground and begged for forgiveness. It's not just him. At that time, I was also annoyed, many winged ping and behemoth warriors said. This matter is a little strange. The winged peng's leader wanted to say something but stopped. He remembered that the last time he entered the ancient seal, something similar did not happen. Whatever, it has already happened. Fortunately, the boundary here can block the war spirits of Zorks. However, what's with these inheritance light pillars? Rita saw that the damage was done and did not want to pursue the matter. The situation was different from when they first entered the valley. They were now in the central region of the valley. The terrain here was very similar to the outer region. There were also some inheritance light pillars. However, these inheritance light pillars were not naturally distributed like the outer region. The number of inheritance light pillars here was much less than the outer region. Each inheritance light pillar was not inserted into the ground like the outer region's inheritance light pillars. Instead, they were suspended in the air. The inheritance light pillars were enveloped by a light beam. The light beam extended from the ground to the air and formed a protective barrier. It enveloped the inheritance light pillars inside. If they wanted to obtain the inheritance light pillars inside, they would have to break through the protective light beams. Young clan leader, the inheritance light pillars have our Silver Rock clan's ancestral mark. There are energy ripples on them. After discovering that the inheritance light pillars in the protective light beams were effective, the Silver Rock clan's warriors who were still immersed in the pain of losing their soldiers all became excited. They had come here to find the inheritance light pillars. The inheritance of the ancient Silver Rock clan was much more important than the lives of the Silver Rock clan's warriors. What are you waiting for? This young clan leader has given the order. The inheritance light pillars inside will belong to whoever can break through the protective light beams. Greed appeared in the Silver Rock clan's eyes. However, with the lesson from earlier, he was still cautious. What if the inheritance light pillars in the protective light beams hid some powerful war spirits? He was not willing to take such a risk. Thus, he encouraged his subordinates to try first. Rita, on the other hand, was observing from the side. Yunxing, what should we do? Lu Yunchuang and the Rock Clan's eldest brother were also eager to try. They had also discovered some inheritances of the Rock Clan and the Celestial Fox people around them. In terms of fame and age, Lu Yunchuang and the Rock Clan's eldest brother were above Yunxing. However, along the way, the two of them had unknowingly begun to view Yunxing as their backbone. Don't act rashly for now. As soon as Yunxing said this, the two of them nodded in agreement. Yunxing looked at Yushang. She did not move. On the other hand, Hu Linglong and the other Celestial Fox Saintess candidates all looked eager to try. For some reason, Yunxing felt that Yushang was a little strange ever since they entered the ancient seal. She had a feeling that Yushang was also very familiar with the ancient seal. The Rock Clan's warriors were the first to make a move. A Rock Clan warrior chose an inheritance light pillar, gathered his fighting aura, and struck it with his palm. Even a boulder would be pulverized by that palm strike. However, when it landed on the inheritance light pillar, it only shook a little before the inheritance light pillar returned to normal. The Rock Clan warrior did not give up. He attacked a few more times, but he could not break the inheritance light pillar. Helpless, several Rock Clan warriors could only combine their strength and attack one of the inheritance light pillars. Under the combined attack of 3 or 4 people, the inheritance light pillar, which had been indestructible all this while, finally cracked. Crack! Like glass shattering, the light pillar's light barrier that enveloped the inheritance light pillar finally gave in and shattered. However, the moment the light pillar shattered, the inheritance light pillar inside was also shattered by the combined strength of 3 or 4 Rock Clan warriors. Chapter 1255. The inheritance pillar collapsed with a loud crash. The power of the inheritance on it also dissipated at once. There was no way to absorb it anymore. Fortunately, after this inheritance pillar was shattered, no battle aura emerged from it. TSK, what a waste. Silver Rock, you've always mocked the beaming tribe for our brute strength. Look at your subordinates, all of them are clumsy, Rita mocked when she saw this. This inheritance light pillar was a mixture of the great inheritances of the Bakra orcs. The number of inheritances of the winged rock tribe was very limited. Shattering one inheritance light pillar meant one less winged rock inheritance. Thinking of this, Silver Rock tribe leader could not help but feel the pinch. These damned inheritance light pillars. If they were too weak, they would not be able to break the barrier. If they were too strong, they would shatter the inheritance light pillars inside. This undoubtedly made things very difficult for everyone. However, after seeing that the inheritance light pillars were shattered without any abnormalities, everyone felt relieved and began to search for suitable inheritance light pillars of their tribe. Rita also ordered her beaming warriors to search for suitable inheritance light pillars of the beaming tribe. However, she did not act rashly. Instead, she walked around as if she was looking for something. Hu Linglong Celestial Fox Saintess candidates also began to search for Celestial Fox inheritance light pillars. Yunxing and Lu Yunchuang were also sizing up the inheritance light pillars around them. One of them was a 6-tailed Celestial Fox, while the other was a 5-tailed Celestial Fox. They were not interested in ordinary Celestial Fox inheritances. At this moment, Boss Winged Rock suddenly spoke. Miss, I have a presumptuous request. I wonder if you'll agree to it. Boss Winged Rock said in a low voice. Last time, the 3 Winged Rock demons had stopped here. At that time, the 3 demons had taken a fancy to an inheritance light pillar in this area. Unfortunately, with the 3 brothers' strength at that time, they were unable to open that inheritance light pillar. Helpless, the 3 brothers could only leave the sealed area with regret. We're all in the same boat now. Feel free to speak your mind. Yunsheng had thought it through. Since she intended to subdue Boss Winged Rock and Lu Yunchuang, she should be honest with them. The three of them were now in the same boat. They had to face the behemoth, the Winged Rock race, and Yu Shang, whose strength was unknown. If the three of them were strong, it meant that the entire team would be strong. Their chances of leaving the ancient seal would also be higher. I won't hide it from the two of you. There is an inheritance of the Winged Ping race in this area. It's called the ancient Golden Ping art. However, I can't break that light inheritance by myself. Therefore, I hope that the two of you can help break that inheritance light beam together. Boss Feather Rock coughed a few times. The ancient Golden Rock art. Are you talking about the ancient Golden Rock technique that allows the feathered rocks to be reborn into the ancient Golden Rock King? Lu Yunchuang revealed a curious expression when she heard this. Miss, you're exaggerating. How can the Golden Rock bloodline be obtained so easily? The ancient Golden Rock art could only partially modify the Featherbird race's bloodline, allowing them to possess the Golden Rock body for a short period of time. However, if he can fully comprehend the ancient Golden Rock technique, there is still hope for him to become the Golden Rock King. Although the Winged Ping race had always viewed him as a traitor, Boss Feather Rock still held the ancient Golden Rock King in high esteem. Although he had received Yun Xing's help to escape his deformed fate, if he wanted to be truly acknowledged by the Winged Ping race, he would need to possess a portion of the ancient Golden Rock King's bloodline. Although the Winged Ping race was not like the Celestial Fox tribe, which was divided into one-tailed, two-tailed, and so on, the Winged Ping race was divided into various ranks, such as the Golden Rock, Silver Rock, and so on. However, since ancient times, the Golden Rock King's bloodline had been one of the noblest bloodlines in the Winged Ping race. In the current Winged Ping race, only the old chief had a portion of the Golden Rock King's bloodline in him. Even the young chief of the Silver Rock clan only had the Silver Rock bloodline in him. If Boss Feather Rock could obtain the ancient Golden Rock art, it would mean that he had the right to compete with the old chief of the Winged Ping race. After Boss Feather Rock finished speaking, he still felt a little uneasy. He also knew that Yun Xing was a member of the Celestial Fox tribe. For the sake of a wanted criminal, would she be willing to risk offending the Winged Ping race and help him? If that's the case, what are we waiting for? I've long disliked that young chief of the Winged Ping race. I'm more than happy to let him cause a ruckus with the Winged Ping race. Yun Xing flashed a set of white teeth. Lu Yunchuang watched from the side. No matter how she looked at Yun Xing's smile, she felt that there was something sinister about it. A smile that was somewhat similar to Yun Xing's slowly spread across her icy face. Boss Feather Rock was stunned. By the time he came back to his senses, the two women had already abandoned the Celestial Fox inheritance beams that they looked down on and walked forward. Meanwhile, the young chief of the Winged Ping race, Silver Rock, was ordering his subordinates to search for the Winged Ping race's inheritance beams. Don't you feel that something is off? Yun Xing suddenly felt that something was off. What's wrong? Lu Yunchuang did not understand. Along the way just now, I've seen the inheritance pillars of almost all the tribes. Only, there are very few inheritance pillars of the few major beast clans, especially the Black Cheelan tribe. There's almost no inheritance pillar of the Black Cheelan tribe. Yun Xing was very attentive. She had been carefully observing along the way. In this stretch of inheritance beams, most of them belonged to the middle and lower beast clans. Among the beast clans, there were very few inheritance beams of the 9-1 tribe and the D clan. There were only 2 or 3 inheritance beams of the Black Cheelan tribe. However, there was not a single inheritance beam of the Black Cheelan tribe. Logically speaking, the beast clans of the 8 Wastelands continent had arrived at the 8 Wastelands mountain range together. They had also fought against the native magical beasts of the 8 Wastelands continent. There was no reason why the other Bakra orcs had left their inheritance beams behind, but not the Black Chelan tribe. After being reminded by Yun Xing, Lu Yunchuang and Boss Feather Rock looked around. It was just as Yun Xing had said. Perhaps it's because the Black Chelan tribe was the strongest. That's why fewer powerful fighters were sacrificed. Only the warriors of the Bakra orcs who died would leave their inheritance beams behind, Boss Feather Rock said. That might be a reason, but it still feels a little too far-fetched. Yunxing still felt that there was something strange about the ancient seal. However, just as Yunxing was thinking carefully, there was a commotion in front of them. Silver Rock was leading a few Feather Rock warriors and surrounding an inheritance beam. Boss Feather Rock's expression changed abruptly when he saw Silver Rock's actions. He was still one step too late. The inheritance beam of the ancient Golden Rock technique had been discovered. That is the inheritance pillar with the ancient Golden Rock technique that you spoke of. It seems that there are quite a few people who have their eyes on this inheritance pillar. Yunxing understood. That's right. I didn't expect that young clan leader Feather Rock would also discover it. Boss Feather Rock stared at the inheritance beam with reddened eyes. Chapter 1256. The ancient Golden Rock art was an extremely rare bloodline inheritance of the Featherping race. Junior Master, our luck is pretty good. This inheritance light beam is much more unstable than the other light beams. Hurry up and attack. You'll definitely be able to break it and obtain the ancient Golden Rock art, said one of the Featherbird race's lackeys. Indeed, compared to the other inheritance light beams, this inheritance light beam was much dimmer. Furthermore, it was very obvious that someone had attempted to break it but failed in the end and had no choice but to give up. Truly a blind cat meeting a dead mouse. That brat got lucky. Boss Peng gnashed his teeth in hatred. Needless to say, the reason why the inheritance light beam's power was greatly reduced was because of the efforts of the 3 Ping demons. The 3 Ping demons had spent a total of 3 days and 3 nights on this inheritance light beam. However, just as the inheritance light beam was about to be broken, due to time constraints, they were forced out of the spirit formation region. It could be said that they had failed on the verge of success. In terms of strength and talent, Boss Peng believed that he was not inferior to Silver Rock in any aspect. That brat only had a good background. He had a golden spoon in his mouth and was the clan leader's grandson. Boss Peng, don't be disappointed. So what if you've taken a fancy to it? As long as the inheritance light beam is not absorbed, we still have a chance. If it's yours, it'll still be yours. Yunxing chuckled and made a hand gesture, indicating that Boss Peng should not give up. On the other side, Silver Rock young clan leader was also drooling over the ancient Golden Rock technique in the inheritance light beam. The Bahuang clan competition was imminent. At this time, if he could obtain the ancient Golden Rock technique and transform himself into a Golden Rock, the Ping clan might be able to hold their heads high in the Bahuang clan competition. They might be able to break free from the middle-level Beast clan and become a high-level Beast clan. Idiot, can't this young clan leader see that this spirit formation is already very weak? Do I need you to remind me? It's precisely because it's weak that it's difficult. If this young clan leader had used a bit more strength, the ancient Golden Rock technique inside would have been ruined. Although Ping clan leader was burning with anxiety, with the lesson from earlier, he did not dare to act on his own accord. However, just watching was not a solution. After all, they could only stay in the spirit formation for 3 days and 3 nights. Just now, they had spent nearly half a day searching for the ancient Golden Rock technique. The Silver Rock Junior clan leader hesitated. Time passed slowly. The ancient Golden Rock technique in the light beam made his heart itch. Young clan leader Pingyu, how about I help you with something? Seeing young clan leader Pingyu hesitating, Yunxing walked forward. Upon seeing Yunxing, young clan leader Pingyu's back began to ache nervously. He had not forgotten that it was this woman who had shot him in the back. Scram! Since when has it been the turn of a bastard from the celestial fox people to meddle in this young clan chief's affairs? Young clan chief Pengyu was on guard and nervous. Young clan head, please don't misunderstand. I don't have any ill intentions. Besides, I'm a celestial fox. There's no way for me to learn the Ping clan's inheritance. I purely want to help young clan leader. After all, there's still a bit of a misunderstanding between us, Yunxing said sincerely. Her beautiful eyes were twinkling. Silver Rock Jr. clan leader Pengyu carefully looked at Yunxing. He discovered that although this celestial fox bastard was only a mixed blood, her appearance was not ordinary. Although she was not as enchanting as Yushang, there was a trace of temptation in her youthful appearance. Earlier, he had not seen it clearly. Now that he saw it clearly, he was immediately blinded by Yunxing's beauty. His tone involuntarily became gentler. Even this young clan leader Pingyu has no way. Could it be that you have a way? Silver Rock Jr. clan leader Pingyu said unhappily. This young clan leader Pingyu is not talented, but I have a way to break this inheritance light beam. Furthermore, I guarantee that the inheritance pillar inside will not be damaged. Yunxing had a look of certainty. Are you serious? Silver Rock Jr. clan leader Pingyu was doubtful. You'll know once you try. If you can't break it or damage the inheritance pillar, my subordinates and I will be at your disposal, young clan leader Pingyu, Yunxing persuaded. Silver Rock Jr. clan leader Pingyu hesitated. Even if the light beam was broken, young clan leader Pingyu would still need time to absorb the inheritance pillar. He really had to hurry. Alright, I'll let you try. Silver Rock Jr. clan leader Pingyu ordered his subordinates to open a path. However, he was still somewhat vigilant and did not order his subordinates to retreat. Earlier, he had been shot by Yunxing because he was not paying attention. He did not believe that this celestial fox mixed blood could still play any tricks when surrounded by so many people. Yunxing walked in front of the inheritance light beam. Unlike the others, she did not immediately use magic or force to break it open. First, she focused and carefully observed for a moment. Then, she raised her hand, and a few cold rays of light appeared on her fingertips. Silver Rock Jr. clan leader Pengyu looked carefully. Yunxing was holding a few needles between her fingers. Those needles were long and thin. They looked like the needles that women used for embroidery. However, he did not know what she was going to do with these needles at this time. Yunxing took a deep breath. The needles in her hand whooshed and disappeared into the inheritance light beam. The moment the needles entered the inheritance light beam, the light beam only trembled slightly. There was not much change. This woman, you can't be thinking of using these needles to break the inheritance light beam, right? What a joke. Silver Rock Jr. clan leader Pingyu thought that Yunxing would have some clever tricks up her sleeve. He did not expect her to use these hair-like needles to break the light beam. He was disappointed and felt that it was a waste of time. Young clan leader Pingyu, please watch. Yunxing smiled slightly. Her eyebrows were brimming with confidence. Her hand landed on the light beam. In her palm, the power of the Jade Marrow technique instantly covered the entire inheritance light beam. The power of the soul-healing divine needle was instantly released. There was a sound like ice cracking on the light beam. Countless cracks, like centipedes with many legs, densely covered the entire light beam. The cracks widened little by little. The inheritance pillar inside was not affected at all. It really cracked. That's great. Silver Rock and his subordinates beamed with joy. They all crowded around the light beam, especially Silver Rock Jr. clan leader Ping Yu. He was afraid that he would miss the best opportunity to obtain the inheritance pillar. Break for me. Yunxing Ping Yu's beautiful eyes turned slightly. Bang! With a muffled sound, the inheritance light beam finally shattered. The moment the inheritance light beam shattered, the intense light caused Silver Rock Jr. clan leader Ping Yu to close their eyes involuntarily. There was the sound of a great rock spreading its wings. The inheritance pillar of the ancient golden rock art also flew out from the light beam. All of you, get out of the way. That inheritance pillar is mine. Silver Rock Jr. clan leader Ping Yu was about to rush forward to snatch the inheritance pillar when he felt a stabbing pain on his neck. Immediately, his entire body went numb. Immediately after, a melodious female voice spoke into her ear. Young clan leader Silver Rock, you're wrong. The ancient golden rock art is ours. Chapter 1257. The young patriarch's heart skipped a beat. When the blinding light dissipated, his vision returned to normal. A figure leaped into the air and snatched the inheritance pillar. That person was none other than the silent mountain hunter who had been tailing Yunxing and the others earlier. The Silver Rock Jr. patriarch couldn't even remember his name for a moment. How dare you! The Silver Rock Jr. patriarch knew that he had been tricked. He opened his mouth and was about to order his subordinates to snatch the inheritance pillar, but the numbness under his neck became more and more obvious. His consciousness gradually faded, and the Silver Rock Jr. patriarch fainted in front of everyone. Put the young patriarch down. Xiao Yun led a group of winged ping warriors to surround Yunxing. This celestial fox woman was very cunning. She was clearly pretending to help and taking the opportunity to kidnap the young patriarch. Everyone, don't be nervous. Your young patriarch is fine. He's just been drugged with a little anesthetic. Don't worry, he'll wake up in an hour. However, if you act rashly, I don't mind opening a big hole in his neck. If you're obedient, I'll return him to you. Yunxing lifted the young patriarch like a chicken. Her right hand had turned into a ferocious fox claw. The Yama fox claw was aimed at the young patriarch's artery. If she exerted a little force, the young patriarch's blood would spurt out. Xiao Yun and the others were apprehensive and didn't dare to move forward. Boss Peng, there's no time to lose. Absorb the inheritance pillar immediately. Yunxing had taken a huge risk just now. Fortunately, she had calculated in time. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to capture the young patriarch. Boss Peng looked gratefully at Yunxing. He had been a wanted criminal for so many years. He didn't expect to have the opportunity to learn the first-rate inheritance of the Winged Ping clan at this age. All of this was thanks to Yunxing. Moreover, this inheritance had been snatched from the young patriarch of the Winged Ping clan. Back then, it was Silver Rock's grandfather who gave the order to kill the 3 rock devils. If that old man knew that he had snatched the ancient golden rock skill from his grandson, he would probably vomit blood in anger. Thinking of this, Boss Ping Feather's mood improved greatly. He nodded and dripped his blood onto the inheritance pillar. Once the blood touched the inheritance pillar, that meant that this inheritance pillar already belonged to Boss Ping Yu. What? He's the boss of the feathered rocks. When Xiao Yun and the other feathered rocks heard this, they all turned pale with fright. The boss of the Feather Ping race that caused the entire Feather Ping race to tremble in fear had actually been accompanying them the entire time. However, his appearance had undergone such a tremendous change. Unfortunately, it was all too late. The young clan head was still in their hands. Xiao Yun and the others could only return to the Feather Ping clan and make further plans. My apologies for offending you just now. I'll return your young patriarch to you. Seeing that the inheritance pillar had already recognized its master, Yunxing also kept her word. She hooked her leg and kicked Silver Rock Young Clan head away. Her kick was very ingenious. It did not miss Silver Rock Young Clan head and made him fall flat on his face. Xiao Yun and the others did not dare to be negligent. They hurriedly lifted Silver Rock Young Clan head up. The way they looked at Yunxing and Boss Pink Feather was as if they had seen a ghost. Since Silver Rock Young Clan head was still unconscious, Xiao Yun could only order the other feathered rocks to break as many of the inheritance pillars as possible. However, he also knew that the old patriarch would definitely fly into a rage after losing the ancient golden rock skill. Celestial Fox and the people from the Beaming clan had also seen what Yunxing had done just now. Yunxing, you've really colluded with the 3 feathered rocks, Hu Linglong hooted from the side. So what if I've colluded with them? I'll explain everything once I return to the Celestial Fox tribe. Yunxing glanced at Yushang. Yushang had not moved since entering this sealed boundary. Unlike the other Saintess candidates, she did not search for Celestial Fox's inheritance, nor did she help. When she saw Yunxing's actions, she only smiled coldly and stood to the side. Don't be so smug. All of us have already obtained a Celestial Fox's inheritance. You and Lu Yunchuang have obtained nothing. This time, you're bound to lose. Hu Linglong and the remaining Celestial Fox Saintess candidates all obtained the Celestial Fox's inheritance one after another. There were not many Celestial Fox's inheritances left in the boundary. Even if there were, they were not worthy of the other Saintess candidates' attention. Yunxing, we can't go on like this. Lu Yunchuang glanced around. Most of the Beaming and Feathered Rocks warriors had already found the inheritance pillars they wanted. Let's wait a little longer. Yunxing was not worried because Yushang had not learned the inheritance either. Celestial Fox Girl. Just as Yunxing and Lu Yunchuang were still watching, the young chieftain of the Beaming clan, Rita, walked up to them. Lu Yunchuang's face was full of wariness when she saw Rita. Although this young chieftain of the Beaming clan looked very crude, she was much more intelligent than the young chieftain of the Silver Rock clan. They had just offended the young chieftain of the Feathered Rocks. If they offended the young chieftain of the Beaming clan as well, the 2 clans would attack them together. Their situation in the Ancient Seal would become even more dangerous. Don't be nervous. I'm not here to fight. Rita hesitated. Yunxing realized that they were not the only ones. Rita had not obtained any inheritance pillars either. Rita was still struggling in her heart. Just like the candidates of the Saintess of the Heavenly Fox tribe, most of the Behemoth warriors had already obtained the inheritance pillars. Only she, as the young matriarch, was still hesitating about what to do. Rita's goal in entering the Ancient Seal was different from the others. I found a beaming inheritance just now. I hope you can help me break the inheritance light beam that I have my eyes on. Once it's done, Rita, will owe you a favor. Rita took a deep breath and finally made a difficult decision. Rita had seen how Yunxing had plotted against the Feathered Rocks just now. Rita also noticed that Yunxing's method of breaking the inheritance light beam was much more ingenious than anyone else's. Yunxing did not reject her immediately. She instructed Lu Yunchuang to guard the entrance for the Feathered Rocks while she let Rita lead the way. They arrived at the inheritance light beam that Rita had her eyes on. Is this the inheritance pillar that you want? If I'm not mistaken, this is not a very powerful beaming inheritance pillar. With your strength, you should be able to choose a better inheritance. Yunxing had a strange expression on her face. Generally speaking, the strength of the inheritance light beam represented the strength of the inheritance pillar inside. Yunxing had thought that the inheritance pillar that a woman with brute strength like the young chieftain, Rita, had her eyes on would definitely be extraordinary. However, the inheritance light beam before them was not very powerful. With the young chieftain's immense strength, a punch from her would probably shatter the light beam immediately. This was too weak. Chapter 1258. That's right. The inheritance in this inheritance beam is a very ordinary inheritance called the Bone of Beauty. It was left behind by a behemoth woman who was good at changing her appearance. It doesn't have any special effects, but it can change the behemoth's giant-like body and ugly appearance. Rita said shyly. She had always been ashamed of her appearance. She heard that in the ancient seal, there might be an inheritance that could change one's appearance. She fought for this opportunity to go to the Ba Huang mountain range so that she could obtain this inheritance. You want to learn this inheritance just to change your appearance. Is it because of purple? Yunxing laughed. If it was just to change her appearance, why would she take such a big risk to enter the ancient seal? Yunxing had some impression of purple. He should be the man who appeared with green in the Dutian blood realm. In terms of appearance, green and purple were on par. They were indeed the prettiest men among the Bakra orcs. However, compared to green, purple seemed to be colder and unapproachable. If you want to laugh at me, go ahead. A woman with such outstanding looks like you will never understand the difficulties of a person like me. Rita was annoyed. She knew that the women of the Heavenly Fox tribe were not good people. Young clan leader Rita, don't misunderstand. I didn't mean it that way. If you just want to appear in front of purple with a new appearance, you don't need to find the inheritance beam. I have a magic called disguise magic that can change one's appearance. However, you are a warrior. If you want to learn magic, you might have to start from scratch. You might need some time to learn this magic. Yunxing sighed. No, I hope to completely change the appearance of a behemoth. Magic is just an illusion. I want to be with purple forever. Rita's face was red. At this moment, Rita was like a young girl who was in love for the first time. Alright, since that's the case, I'll lend you a hand. Yunxing rubbed her forehead. She was touched by young clan leader Rita's devotion to her. When Rita heard that Yunxing had agreed, she was overjoyed and hugged Yunxing. Cough, cough. Rita, can you be gentler? My bones are going to be broken by you, Yunxing thought to herself. She wondered who would be the stronger one between the sheep and Rita. Thinking of Papaya, Yunxing's consciousness sobered up a little. In the ancient seal, there was no obvious flow of time. As such, they had no idea what was going on in the outside world. Yunxing didn't spend much effort to break the behemoth inheritance light beam that had the Bone of Beauty sealed within. The moment the inheritance pillar flew out, young clan leader Rita leaped up and kept the inheritance pillar in her arms. Thank you. I, Rita, will remember your kindness today. Rita gave Yunxing a fist salute and bowed. Then, she took the Bone of Beauty's inheritance pillar and went to the side to study it. Since Yunxing had helped Rita, the warriors of the Behemoth tribe treated Yunxing better. Yunxing, something seems wrong with Boss Pingyu. Not long after Yunxing broke the inheritance light beam for Rita, Lu Yunshuang was guarding Boss Pingyu. A day had passed, but Boss Pingyu still hadn't learned the ancient golden rock technique. Seeing that something was wrong, Yunxing quickly went forward to check. She saw Boss Pingyu sitting cross-legged beside the inheritance pillar. The inheritance pillar was suspended in the air, and the power of inheritance kept gushing out from it. Perhaps it was because the power of inheritance was too strong, but Boss Pingyu's skin was bursting with veins that looked like golden earthworms. As more and more inheritance energy poured in, Boss Featherpang's meridians were unable to withstand the inheritance energy and exploded. Blood sprayed out, and he was covered in blood. Ha, what an overconfident fellow. A lowly deformed creature actually wants to learn the ancient golden rock technique. Piercing taunts rang in his ears. Young clan leader Pingyu, who was no longer under the effects of anesthesia, walked over with the help of Xiao Yun and the others. When he saw that the ancient golden rock technique's inheritance pillar that he had coveted for so long had been snatched away by Boss Pingyu, he flew into a rage. However, when he saw Boss Pingyu's current situation, Silver Rock gloated. The ancient golden rock technique was extremely domineering. The inheritance pillar even contained a portion of the ancient golden rock king's bloodline. That bloodline was both a danger and an opportunity for the Ping race. If they merged with it properly, they could transform from an ordinary Ping race into a golden rock. But if they merged with it incorrectly, the golden rock king's bloodline would flow in reverse. It was very likely that Boss Pingyu's bloodline would flow in reverse, and his body would explode. Boss Pingyu was undoubtedly going through this extremely dangerous juncture. Shut up. If you jinx me again, I'll sew your mouth shut with a needle. Yunxing couldn't help feeling cold sweat for Boss Pingyu. You lowly creature, you've actually plotted against me time and time again. What are you standing there for? Turn these two lowly creatures into mincemeat. The numbing effect still hadn't faded from Pingyu's body. Thinking of how he had fallen for this damned celestial fox's tricks because of her beauty, Silver Rock's heart felt like it was being stabbed. He had an urge to skin Yunxing alive. Silver Rock, stop wailing like a ghost and howling like a wolf. Whoever dares to touch them will be going against my beaming clan. Rita had already absorbed the inheritance power from the inheritance pillar. She brought a group of beaming clan members over. Most of these beaming clan members had obtained a certain amount of inheritance power. At this moment, they were gathered together like wolves and tigers. They were confronting the Ping race, and no one was willing to give way. Yunxing nodded towards Rita, and Rita laughed straightforwardly. Young clan leader, there isn't much time left. Rather than fighting recklessly, why don't we find a more suitable inheritance pillar? Xiao Yun was more opinionated than Silver Rock. At this moment, Boss Pingyu let out a painful howl. I'll go over and take a look. Yunxing didn't have the time to confront the Ping race anymore. She walked over to Boss Pingyu. Her golden eyes narrowed. Boss Pingyu's skin that was covered in blood disappeared. Yunxing could see Boss Pingyu's internal organs clearly. It turned out that there was an inheritance power that was devouring Boss Pingyu's heart. If Boss Pingyu wasn't able to absorb that portion of inheritance power, his heart would be crushed by the violent inheritance power. Yunxing didn't hesitate. She condensed the power of the soul-healing divine needle at the tip of her finger. Her eyes were sharp and her hands were fast. She landed it on Boss Pingyu's chest. When the Golden Rock King's inheritance power met with Yunxing's soul-healing divine needle, it didn't retreat immediately. Instead, it was as if it had met an enemy. The two forces started to fight. Boss Pingyu's complexion was also alternating between red and white. After an entire night, Boss Pingyu's complexion became slightly better. Chapter 1259. Seeing this, Silver Pang and the other Feather Pang warriors looked at each other in dismay. On the second day, the blood on his body began to coagulate and new, elastic skin began to grow. Boss Pang let out a long cry. He spread his arms, and his golden feathers transformed into a pair of golden wings. Boss Pang Feather shook his body and turned into a large golden rock with a threatening aura. He suddenly transformed into a golden Pang. Every feather on his body shone with golden light. He was a golden Pang. That golden Pang spread its golden wings and circled in the air. The sound of a Pang piercing through the clouds resounded through the entire ancient seal. Boss Pang Feather descended from the sky and turned into a tall and sturdy man. He was no longer Pang Feather's abandoned pawn who hit his head and showed his tail. Boss Pang knelt on one knee and spoke respectfully to Yunxing. From today onwards, you are my master. I will be loyal to you for the rest of my life. Boss Ping knew that it was Yun Xing who had helped him comprehend the ancient Golden Ping art and obtain a portion of the Golden Pang's blood. Right now, he was strong enough to kill any feather ping present. It seems that after Boss Ping absorbed this inheritance, he can freely transform into a Golden Pang or a human. Rita sighed when she saw Boss Pang's transformation. The Beaming Tribe's inability to fly had always been a regret for Rita and the other Beaming Tribe members. However, with Boss Ping, who had the Golden Ping King's blood, the Feather Ping race was about to change. The Silver Rock Junior Patriarch and the others also realized this. They had originally thought that a deformed Pang like Boss Ping wouldn't be able to comprehend the ancient Golden Ping art. However, this scene mercilessly shattered all their hopes. You damned Heavenly Fox bastard, just you wait and see in the competition. I will definitely let your Heavenly Fox tribe know the consequences of offending my Feather Ping clan. The Silver Ping did not expect that he would only be able to watch as his boss became a Golden Ping. Thus, he gnashed his teeth in anger. Even so, the Silver Rock Junior clan leader didn't dare to look for trouble with Boss Ping Yu. With the help of the Beaming clan, that cunning Heavenly Fox bastard and Boss Ping Yu who had just obtained the Golden Rock King body, the Silver Rock Junior clan leader didn't have absolute confidence in fighting against them. In his anger, Silver Ping could only find a Ping inheritance. He angrily smashed the inheritance light beam and obtained a passable inheritance. 2 days and 2 nights had passed, and more than half of the inheritance pillars in the ancient seal had been shattered. Apart from Yunqing, Lu Yunchuang, and Yu Shang, most of the others had already received new inheritances. Yunqing, are we still going to wait? Lu Yunchuang was a little anxious. Let's wait a little longer. Yunsheng was also very puzzled. She glanced at Yu Shang. Yu Shang was like a boulder. She didn't move at all. I just think it's strange that Yu Shang is too quiet this time. It's a little unusual. She also didn't obtain any inheritances. If you were her, under what circumstances would you give up on the Celestial Fox inheritance that was so close at hand? Yunxing asked Lu Yunchuang. It's very simple. When there's a better inheritance, one naturally won't touch those inferior inheritances, Lu Yunchuang blurted out. Lu Yunchuang blurted out. In fact, she had also noticed that the Heavenly Fox inheritance in the ancient seal was nothing special. In comparison, among everyone, only Boss Peng's ancient Golden Ping art could be considered a superior inheritance. Could it be that Yu Shang is waiting for a better inheritance? But there are no other Celestial Fox inheritances here. Lu Yunchuang blurted out. This inheritance light beam was the end of the ancient seal. They were surrounded by mountain walls. It was impossible for a new inheritance to appear. No, you're wrong. Don't forget that this is an ancient seal. A seal means there's a so-called eye of the seal. We've been in the valley for so long, but we haven't found the eye of the seal. If I'm not wrong, the eye of the seal is very likely hidden. It requires certain conditions before it can be triggered. Yunxing wasn't very sure about this either. But if there's really an eye of the seal, how does Yu Shang know about it? Or has she been here before? Lu Yunchuang hesitated and glanced at Yu Shang again. Just as the two women were discussing, Yu Shang stood up and walked up to Yunxing. Hee, looks like everyone has obtained suitable inheritances. It's about time. Yu Shang smiled. Yu Shang, what do you mean? Hu Linglong and the other Celestial Fox Saintess candidates were confused. Bang, bang, bang. Before Hu Linglong could finish speaking, an inheritance light beam that had not been broken started to shake beside her. It was not just the inheritance light beam beside Hu Linglong. The inheritance light beams beside everyone else started to shake as well. With a series of explosive sounds, the inheritance light beams that hadn't been destroyed actually all exploded on their own. What's going on? Everyone was shocked. When they realized that something was wrong, their first reaction was to leave immediately. However, when they tried to leave the area, they suddenly realized that the ground was shaking and the valley was sinking. Thank you for your hard work, everyone. Thanks to you all for breaking so many inheritance light beams, I was able to successfully open the eye of the seal. Yushang's blue-green eyes were full of calculation. As the first saintess of the celestial fox tribe, Yushang was one of the ancestors of the first batch of ancient Bakra orcs who had luckily escaped from the boundless land to the Eight Desolates continent. As one of the ancestors of the celestial fox tribe, she had naturally been to this valley before. She had even participated in the construction of the ancient seal here. However, the situation had been urgent at the time. At the last moment, Yushang had abandoned the elders of the Tianhu tribe and escaped by herself. The elders of the celestial fox tribe had used their divine power to join forces with the elders of the other tribes to kill the native demonic beasts of the Eight Desolates continent. Before their deaths, the celestial fox elders had left a portion of their inheritance power in the eye of the ancient seal. After the elders had died, they had hidden the eye of the seal that contained the strongest inheritance to prevent the inheritance from falling into the hands of despicable villains with ulterior motives. The eye of the ancient wind seal would only see the light of day after breaking through the outer and middle regions and breaking more than half of the inheritance light beams in the middle region. Yushang had not made a move yet because she wanted to wait for the eye of the seal to see the light of day after everyone had exhausted all their strength. Chapter 1260. That damned woman is using us. Everyone could not help but curse Yushang for being despicable in their hearts when they heard what she said. No wonder Yushang had been so calm and composed after entering the ancient seal and had refused to use any of her strength. She had planned this all along. She was waiting for the ice seal to appear so that she could deal the final blow. Most of the others had used up a lot of their strength when assimilating the power of inheritance from the inheritance pillars. How could they possibly have the strength to resist the powerful pressure from the ancient elders within the ice seal? However, it was already too late when they realized this. The valley was still sinking, and the entire ancient seal seemed to be collapsing. As the ground continued to sink, everyone felt that their spines had suddenly sunk. It was as if an invisible force was burrowing out of the ground and pressing down on everyone's shoulders. What was worse was that the pressure from countless ancient elders from the 8 barren lands gathered together made it impossible for them to rise into the air or escape. They could only endure this terrifying pressure with great difficulty. Pfft! A warrior from the beaming tribe spat out a mouthful of blood. His shoulders collapsed as he could not withstand the strange force. His bones were instantly crushed. Everyone, concentrate and defend against the external force. Rita could also feel the powerful force. If her guess was right, this was the true power of the ancient seal. After that warrior from the beaming tribe, warriors from the winged rock tribe and the beaming tribe successively succumbed to the terrible pressure from the ground. They either vomited blood and died, or their bodies exploded and died. The ancient seal was filled with the stench of blood. It was like hell, and from time to time, people would die violently and scream in agony. Among the candidates for the saintess, celestial fox, there were also several women who died because they could not withstand the powerful pressure. Hu Linglong was still holding on with all her might. She was already cursing Yushang in her heart, but now, she did not even have the courage to curse. Yunsheng, I can't hold on any longer. Lu Yunchuang was not in a good condition either. She could feel that her body was slowly being suppressed by that force of might. Her spine was already bent at an abnormal angle, and her bones were about to break at any moment. Lu Yunchuang gritted her teeth. Suddenly, her body transformed into the form of a 5-tailed celestial fox. An ice fox crouched on the ground. Not long after Lu Yunchuang transformed into her celestial fox form, Hu Linglong could not hold on any longer and transformed into her fox form as well. For the Bakra orcs, transforming into their beast form would allow them to withstand greater pressure. Although Lu Yunchuang's aura had weakened slightly after transforming into her beast form, her condition was still not very good. Master, you need to hold on for a little longer. If I'm not wrong, the imprint eye is at the bottom. The inheritance below is the strongest inheritance of the Bakra orcs. After Boss Pingyu broke through to become the Golden Rock King, it was also a blessing in disguise. He turned into a golden rock and used his wings to block Yunxing. As a result, the pressure exerted on Yunxing's body weakened slightly. However, as the valley continued to descend, Boss Pingyu's Golden Rock King form could not hold on any longer. Boss Pingyu, don't force yourself. Remember, if anything happens later, take Yunchuang away as soon as you have the chance to escape. After you leave, go to Hu capital and look for the young clan leader of the Nine Wan tribe. Ask him to help me rescue Popo and Hu Rulan no matter what. Yunxing pushed Boss Pingyu's wings away and spoke into his ear. She straightened her back and realized that the only ones still standing in the ancient seal were her, Yushang, and Rita of the Behemoth tribe. Hee, not bad. I didn't expect there to be someone who could hold on with me. Yushang glanced at Yunxing and Rita. Yushang was not too surprised that Rita was still holding on. The Behemoth tribe was a descendant of the Behemoth tribe that had absorbed part of the giant's blood. It was a purebred Behemoth tribe and Rita, so it was definitely better at resisting the pressure. However, what surprised Yushang was that Yunxing, a celestial fox hybrid, was still able to hold on under the powerful ancient pressure until now. It was a miracle. However, miracles only happened once. Yushang believed that when the eye of the seal completely reappeared, Yunxing would explode like the other celestial foxes. If you can do it, then so can we. Yushang, who are you? How do you know how to open the eye of the seal? Yunxing felt the blood in her body roaring madly. The powerful ancient aura caused her to feel dizzy. She slowly exhaled. Since you're about to die, I'll let you die with a clear understanding. I am Yushang, the first celestial fox saintess, Hu Yushang. Yushang chuckled. Hu Yushang. This name was completely unfamiliar to Yunxing. However, Lu Yunchuang and Hu Linglong, who had already transformed into a five-tailed celestial fox and could not move, could not help but look terrified when they heard this name. Although Hu Yushang was not as famous as the first celestial fox people, Chang Hu Yan, she was the first celestial fox saintess. Why was Yushang Hu Yushang? Wasn't she supposed to be dead? They were actually competing with the first celestial fox saintess for the title of celestial fox saintess. This was ridiculous. After noticing Lu Yunchuang and Hu Linglong's strange reactions, Yunxing understood that Hu Yushang's identity was real. I don't care if you're the first celestial fox saintess. Times are changing, and so are people. You're just an old woman who should have turned into ashes long ago. What right do you have to call yourself a saintess? Only I, Yunxing, am the celestial fox saintess, Yunxing roared angrily. That layer of suppressive force weakened significantly in an instant. You actually. Hu Yushang did not expect Yunxing to be able to move in the face of such a powerful suppressive force. The layer of red flames that surged around her was scorching hot. It had unintentionally weakened the ancient suppressive force by a lot. There was a hint of fear in Hu Yushang's eyes. At that moment, Yunxing looked so similar to someone in her eyes. There was once a woman who had made her feel a similar sense of shock. That woman had died many years ago. That damned celestial fox bastard. Why did she look so similar to Hu Yen? Could it be that this woman would really replace her and become the new celestial fox saintess? No, since the heavens had allowed her, Hu Yushang, to go through hardships and be reborn, she would not allow it this time. No one, not even Hu Yen, could stop her. Rumble. There was a heavy rumble. The valley that had been sinking finally came to a stop. Yunsheng, Yushang, and Rita shuddered at the same time. Their gazes turned to the front. They had finally reached the position of the ancient seal's eye. Regarding the completion of the main text, it would definitely be completed before the end of May. Chapter 1261. In front of them, there were nearly 100 inheritance pillars standing in the midst of the multicolored chaotic light. Unlike any of the inheritance pillars that Yunsheng and the others had seen before, these inheritance pillars were scattered in a picturesque manner. From the front to the back, they stood in 8 different areas. The distribution of the inheritance pillars was clear at a glance. Each area represented a type of Bakra orc's inheritance. These inheritance pillars were undoubtedly the strongest inheritances in the history of the Bakra orcs. Every inheritance pillar flashed with a gem-like radiance. These are the true 8 desolation inheritance pillars, Rita said in a daze when she saw the inheritance pillars. The inheritance pillars in front of them were the true treasures of inheritance. They had paid the price of blood for these inheritance pillars. Most of the warriors from the Behemoth tribe and the Ping tribe couldn't withstand the torture and suffered heavy casualties. Even the young master of the Ping tribe, Yin Peng, had no choice but to transform into a large silver rock and be protected by his subordinates. Even though they had seen the inheritance pillars left behind by the elders, they were powerless to do anything. They could only look at the inheritance pillars with their own eyes. Compared to these inheritance pillars, the earlier ones are simply trash. Yushang didn't feel the slightest bit of pity for the losses of the other tribes. The survival of the strong. This was a truth that would never change at any time and under any circumstances. The inheritance pillars varied in distance from Yunsheng and the others. The closest one was only 12 meters away, while the furthest one was about 1,000 meters away. Yushang brushed her hair and walked toward the inheritance pillars with ease. Yunsheng and Rita also walked over. They were now in the imprinted eye. The closer they were to the inheritance pillars, the stronger the pressure they could feel. Yushang and Yunsheng walked side by side and stood in front of the celestial fox inheritance pillar. Rita walked toward the behemoth inheritance pillar. "Little bastard, you still want to compete with me at a time like this?" Yushang had a mocking look on her face. In her opinion, it was already very difficult for Yunsheng to come this far. "I don't care who you are. Right now, we are all standing on the same starting line. We are all going through the last step of the combat test to see who can find the strongest celestial fox's inheritance." Yunsheng ignored Yushang's provocation. Her gaze was fixed on the inheritance pillar 1,000 meters away. At the same time, Yushang's gaze also landed on the inheritance pillar. Needless to say, that inheritance pillar was the strongest celestial fox's inheritance pillar in the ancient seal. "Looks like you and I have the same goal. It's a pity that there's only one strongest inheritance pillar. And it will only belong to me, Hu Yushang. You might not be able to make it there alive." Hu Yushang giggled, as if this powerful aura was nothing to her. Rita, who was not far away, looked at the two of them. These two lunatics are still fighting at a time like this. "I just want to know if I can leave this damned place as soon as possible after learning the inheritance." Rita breathed heavily. She did not want the strongest behemoth's inheritance. In fact, even someone like Rita, who had a strong behemoth bloodline, would find it difficult to move around in the ancient seal's eye area. She really did not know how the two celestial fox women could withstand such a powerful aura. Rita shook her head and followed Hu Yushang's steps, looking at the behemoth's inheritance pillar in the middle. Yunsheng was on the right, and Yushang was on the left. The two of them stepped forward almost simultaneously. 1 step, 2 steps. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had crossed more than 10 meters without even taking a breath. The first celestial fox's inheritance pillar was quickly left behind by the two of them. The second pillar, the third pillar. The two women's footsteps slowed down. There were still about 500 to 600 meters in front of them. Hee, why are you still so stubborn? Look at you, your knees are already shaking. Yu Shang glanced at Yunxing. Aren't you the same? Old people will always be old people. You only walked a few steps and you're already panting like this. Yunxing lifted her leaden leg and took a step forward. You bastard! Yu Shang almost exploded with anger when Yunxing kept calling her old people. Yunxing was right. Even though Hu Yushang had used the body of the jade garment of Yudu to reappear in the 8 Desolates land, this body was ultimately not her original body. When she used it, it would still be passable. However, even though they were provoking each other, the two of them did not dare to act rashly. They glared at each other, and neither of them dared to attack the other. There was still more than half of the journey left. Neither of them wanted to be distracted at this time. In the imprint, the three women were struggling to move forward. Outside the ancient seal, in the Black Chelan camp on the 8 Wastelands mountain range. Reporting to the deputy chief. Just now, there was a change in the ancient seal. The ancient seal disappeared, and the entire valley sank. Ever since the other tribes entered the ancient seal, the Black Chelan warriors had been watching the ancient seal day and night. Until this evening, the ancient seal actually disappeared within a quarter of an hour. When the ancient seal disappeared, a strong pressure formed at the original location of the seal. The warriors of the Black Chelan tribe who were patrolling nearby felt their blood boil when they got close. Oh, there's really such a thing. Could it be that the people of the Rock tribe and Beaming tribe found the eye of the ancient seal? Duguxiu's eyes turned cold when he heard this. When he entered the ancient seal, he used all his methods, but he still couldn't find the eye of the ancient seal. He didn't expect that the two middle-level beasts would find the eye of the ancient seal by chance. You guys, come with me and take a look. Under Duguxiu's command, the elite warriors of the Black Chelan tribe followed Duguxiu and flew to the original location of the ancient seal. When Duguxiu and the others arrived at the ancient seal, they felt a strong pressure. The original location of the ancient seal had turned into a huge crater. They didn't know how deep the crater was, but they could vaguely see a 5-colored light shooting out from the bottom of the crater. It really is the eye of the seal. Duguxiu's face lit up. He waved his hand, and the Black Chelan warriors behind him quickly dived into the depths of the crater. Inside the crater, the competition between Yunxing and Yushang was still going on. Rita of the Beaming tribe couldn't take it anymore after walking for about 400 meters. In the end, she chose the 4th Beaming inheritance pillar and began to learn how to fuse the 2nd inheritance she obtained from the 8 Wastelands mountain range. Last 300 meters. Because of the strong pressure, Yunxing couldn't straighten her back. At this moment, she was like an old woman with a crooked back, walking forward with difficulty. Her clothes were completely soaked with sweat, and she looked like she had just been pulled out of water. Chapter 1262. The last 300 meters. There were only 3 or 4 celestial fox inheritance pillars left. Give up. I don't think you can even take another step, Yushang said patiently. You don't seem to be doing much better than me. Yunxing glanced at Yushang. Although she was still holding on with all her might, her knees were already trembling. Yushang and Yunxing were both 6-tailed celestial foxes. Logically speaking, their strength shouldn't be too different. However, Yushang was cunning. After entering the ancient seal, she didn't use any of her strength. Yunxing, on the other hand, had used up a lot of her strength because of Rita and Pingyu. In this way, Yushang had the upper hand. Even so, Yunxing still refused to back down. She took a deep breath and crawled like a turtle, forcing herself not to let the ancient pressure crush her spine. She moved slowly. This mixed blood has such strong willpower. A cunning glint flashed across Yushang's eyes. Boom! With a loud bang, Yunxing's knees hit the ground heavily. Stone chips flew up and scraped her cheeks. The pressure on her body doubled in an instant. Under the powerful ancient pressure, it was extremely difficult for Yunxing to increase the pressure by even a little, let alone double the pressure. Yushang, you're despicable. Yunxing could clearly hear a few ribs under her abdomen cracking. Fortunately, she had the jade marrow technique to protect her internal organs. Otherwise, her internal organs would have exploded at that moment. This feeling was like a 10-story tall building suddenly falling to the ground. One could imagine the feeling. Mixed blood little bastard, how does it feel to be grafted? It turned out that when Yushang saw that Yunxing was still moving forward, she used the celestial fox inheritance to transfer all her pressure to Yunxing. At this time, both of them were exhausted. The sudden increase in pressure was too much for Yunxing to bear. She lay on the ground, her chest rising and falling slightly, proving that she was still alive. Yushang, on the other hand, had a relaxed expression on her face. She had transferred her oppressive might to Yunxing, allowing her to relax in an instant. When she saw this, Lu Yunchuang, who had already transformed into a fox, looked furious. This woman called Yushang is really cunning. If we meet her in the future, we need to be careful. Rita was still absorbing the power of inheritance from the behemoth inheritance pillar. When she saw what Yushang was doing, she could only shake her head helplessly. Her situation was not much better than Yunxing's. For now, she could only try her best to protect herself. Thanks to you, I can finally obtain the strongest celestial fox inheritance. You're pretty tough, to be able to still have a single breath left in you. Don't worry, once I've absorbed the strongest celestial fox inheritance, I'll come back and send you on your way. Yushang chuckled and walked forward happily until she reached the last celestial fox inheritance pillar. The celestial fox inheritance pillars in the eye of the ancient seal were different from ordinary inheritance pillars. They seemed to have a mind of their own. When people approached them, they emitted a buzzing sound like an ancient bell. Is this the strongest celestial fox inheritance left behind by those old fellows? Yushang looked at the last inheritance pillar. There was a raised celestial fox symbol on the pillar. The celestial fox symbol was vivid and lifelike. The celestial fox on it had 7 celestial fox tails. This was the authentic 7-tailed celestial fox inheritance. 7-tailed inheritance. You're finally mine. Yushang looked at the inheritance pillar with an almost infatuated look. A dark red dot appeared on her fingertip. Her blood was about to enter the inheritance pillar. But at that moment, Yushang's foot was suddenly pulled. A fox claw suddenly landed on the celestial fox inheritance pillar. Blood instantly seeped into the celestial fox inheritance pillar. That blood didn't belong to Yushang. Yushang looked down and saw that a fox claw had appeared at her feet. Yunxing, who had transformed into a 6-tailed celestial fox, was one step ahead of her and grabbed the celestial fox inheritance pillar at the last moment. Behind Yunxing was a long trail of blood. She had actually managed to crawl 300 meters with one last breath at the very last moment. Bastard, let go of me. Yushang was furious. She didn't expect Yunxing to snatch the celestial fox inheritance pillar from her at a time like this. That inheritance pillar is mine. Yushang's blue-green eyes were bloodshot. She was so angry that she transformed into her fox form. The blood on Yunxing's hand continued to seep into the celestial fox inheritance pillar. Ha, it's mine. It's still mine. Yunxing raised her head. Let go. Let go. Yushang was so angry that she slammed her palm down on Yunxing. She was about to go crazy. Her cooked duck had flown away. This damned celestial fox bastard. That was her celestial fox inheritance pillar. But no matter how hard Yushang hit, Yunxing's claws were still tightly gripping the celestial fox inheritance pillar. Vice Chief, what do you see in the eye? At this time, Duge Xiao and a few elites of the Black Qilin tribe had already entered the area of the eye. They also saw the situation inside. What was going on? Behemoth, the winged ping race, and a celestial fox. 2 six-tailed celestial foxes. 2 six-tailed celestial fox had actually appeared in the celestial fox tribe. It seemed that the rumors were true. The celestial fox tribe had held a saintess selection ceremony, and 2 six-tailed celestial foxes had appeared at the ceremony. Moreover, these 2 celestial foxes were fighting over the strongest celestial fox inheritance pillar in the ancient seal. Duge Xiao's eagle-like eyes dimmed as he noticed the dying celestial fox on the ground. Her snow-white fur had already been dyed red, but her claws were still tightly gripping the celestial fox inheritance pillar. Her eyes were already closed. Clearly, the celestial fox woman had already fainted. But her claws were still tightly gripping the celestial fox inheritance pillar. She still wasn't willing to let go at this point. For some reason, Duge Xiao felt a suffocating feeling in his heart. He had an impulse to rush up to him. Vice Chief, there's no time to lose. We should seize those inheritance pillars as soon as possible. The reminder beside him brought Duge Xiao back to his senses. Yes. Duge Xiao stiffly retracted his gaze. He took to the skies and flew towards the ancient Black Qilin inheritance pillar with a few other Black Qilin warriors. Since you're so persistent, I'll destroy your soul. Yushang's gaze hardened as it landed on another celestial fox inheritance pillar. This was the second last celestial fox inheritance pillar. It was also a 7-tailed celestial fox inheritance pillar, but it wasn't the strongest one. Yushang waved her hand and uprooted the inheritance pillar. Die! Yushang raised the inheritance pillar high and viciously smashed it down on Yunxing's head. Chapter 1263. Yunxing used the last of her consciousness to grab the celestial fox inheritance pillar with her Yama fox claw. I can't let Yushang obtain this celestial fox inheritance. The thought kept echoing in Yunxing's mind. Above her head, Yushang threw the celestial fox inheritance pillar at Yunxing's head. The cruel smile on Yunshang's lips froze. A hand blocked in front of her. You're from the Black Qilin tribe. An unfamiliar man stood in front of Yushang. Judging from the man's fierce fighting spirit and strong physique, Yushang could tell that he was from the Black Qilin tribe. Why would someone from the Black Qilin tribe appear in the ancient seal? Yushang glanced around from the corner of her eyes and saw a dozen warriors from the Black Qilin tribe. They were like shadows following behind Duge Xiao. Every man had several 8 desolation inheritance pillars in their hands. TSK, it seemed that the Black Qilin tribe had been prepared. They must have been lying in ambush near the ancient seal and took advantage of the moment the seal's eye appeared to plunder everything. They had the advantage in numbers, and this man didn't seem to be any weaker than her. Yushang's gaze softened, and she transformed into her human form. Her cruel and bloodthirsty expression was gone, replaced by a seductive smile. Yushang was a smart woman, and smart women knew how to use their assets. In the past, as long as men saw her face, their hearts would waver. However, the man in front of her didn't seem to be moved at all after seeing Yu Shang's true appearance. His eagle-like eyes didn't waver in the slightest. The man who blocked Yu Shang had a head of fiery hair, and a dark gaze that was bone-chillingly cold. Even if you don't kill her, she won't be able to leave this place alive. Duguxiu's actions surprised even himself. Just now, he'd led his subordinates to quickly harvest the 8 Desolation Inheritance Pillars. When he was about to snatch the Celestial Fox's Inheritance Pillar, he realized that Yu Shang was about to kill the 6-tailed Celestial Fox. In fact, Duguxiu could have ignored the fight between the 2 Celestial Fox. But just as Yu Shang was about to strike, Duguxiu's limbs seemed to not listen to him. He subconsciously moved and blocked Yu Shang's fatal strike. Was it impossible to leave this place alive? Yu Shang looked around and quickly understood what Duguxiu meant. Their current location was the Eye of the Ancient Seal. The Eye of the Ancient Seal was supported by the inheritance pillars of the elder-level powerhouses. Just now, she and Yunxing had each snatched a Celestial Fox inheritance pillar. In addition to the Black Qilin tribe, they had plundered many inheritance pillars from other beast tribes and the Black Qilin tribe. The area of the Eye was now like an underground mine that had been hollowed out, losing a large number of pillars all of a sudden. Due to the lack of energy in the Eye, it was already on the verge of collapse. The entire ancient seal could collapse at any time. The ground was already shaking up and down, and rocks kept falling from the surrounding mountains. According to Yu Shang's estimation, the valley would completely collapse in less than half an hour. At that time, the ancient seal would disappear from the world forever. As for the bastard on the ground, she had already lost consciousness. Based on her current condition, without any external help, the only path left for her was death. Since that was the case, there was no need to get into a conflict with this man from the Black Qilin tribe. Yu Shang smiled in relief and put the Celestial Fox inheritance pillar into her bag. Bastard, I'll let you die with this so-called strongest Celestial Fox inheritance pillar in your arms. Yu Shang looked at the Celestial Fox inheritance pillar in Yunxing's hands, unwilling to give up. After fusing with the inheritance pillar with a drop of blood, the inheritance pillar would lose its effectiveness if it was not fused within 7 days and 7 nights. It was a pity that the strongest Celestial Fox inheritance pillar had finally appeared in the world. Yu Shang then looked at the Heavenly Fox inheritance pillar in her hand, which was the second most powerful one. Forget it. This was also a 7-tailed Celestial Fox inheritance pillar. With this 7-tailed Celestial Fox inheritance, Yu Shang believed that she was already qualified to become the winner of this year's Celestial Fox Saintess candidate. Little brother from the Black Qilin tribe, we'll meet again in the Bahuang tribe competition. Yu Shang smiled seductively and dodged Duguxiu. With a wave of her hand, she put the remaining Celestial Fox inheritance pillars into her bag. After that, Yu Shang took the few Celestial Fox Saintess candidates who were lucky enough to survive, including Lu Yunxuang. She rose into the air and quickly left the ancient seal. Duguxiu glanced at the 6-tailed Celestial Fox lying in a pool of blood. Its snow-white fur was dyed red with blood. He reached out to check the pulse on the 6-tailed Celestial Fox's neck and found that the Celestial Fox's pulse had stopped beating. So it was still dead. There was an indescribable sense of loss. Forget it. The strong lived, and the weak died. This was the rule of this world. Deputy Clan Leader, the ancient seal is about to collapse. We must leave quickly. We also found the young chiefs of the Behemoth tribe and the Winged Rock tribe in the valley. They have lost the ability to fight back. The warriors of the Black Qilin tribe discovered Rita, Silver Rock, and the others. Take them with us. This trip to the ancient seal had been a fruitful one. Not only had the Behemoth tribe and the Winged Rock tribe owed him a favor, but he had also obtained a large number of Bahuang inheritance pillars. Suppressing the strange feeling in his heart, Dugashio looked away. In a flash, he left the valley with the warriors of the Black Chelan tribe. As the Black Chelan tribe and Dugashio left, the valley collapsed even more. The warriors of the Behemoth tribe and the Winged Rock tribe who couldn't escape in time, as well as the war spirits left behind by the Ancient Seal, were all annihilated in the collapsing Ancient Seal. At the location of the Ancient Seal, Yunxing, who had severed her aura, was about to be drowned in the rubble. Her body emitted a gentle glow. Under the glow, Yunxing's eyelids trembled. She regained her human form. The blood in her body also stopped flowing. Her chest rose and fell as she regained her breathing. The Celestial Fox relic flew out from Yunxing's body. The moment the Celestial Fox relic appeared, the collapsing Ancient Seal seemed to have stopped. The rubble that was about to hit Yunxing was blocked by the glow. Cough cough. Yunxing spat out a mouthful of turbid air. His black eyes were clear and bright. There was no sign of him being dead at all. Yunxing felt that Yushang's torture was like a long nightmare. Her eyelids were very heavy. Tisk, pretending to be dead is really a skill. Including the last time, it was a total of 109 times. Damned Yushang, you'd better remember this. Yunxing spat out a mouthful of saliva. Her eyes were fierce. Chapter 1264. As it turned out, being beaten to death just now was just a show directed by Yunxing. Luckily, she was a doctor in her previous life and had seen many dead people. In addition, she had watched many dramas. Just now, she had used a hidden needle to hold her breath and used her acting skills to successfully fool the others. Ever since Yunxing witnessed Rita being plotted against by Yushang, she had been on guard against Yushang's grafting flowers onto trees. She had long guessed that a sinister and cunning person like Yushang would definitely use a trick at the last moment. As she had expected, when they were about 300 meters away from the inheritance pillar, Yushang used grafting flowers onto trees, putting Yunxing into an extremely disadvantageous situation. However, Yushang did not expect that Yunxing's critical situation was just a show that she had planned and directed and acted out on her own. Her goal was to make Yushang let down her guard. Yunxing and Yushang were both six-tailed celestial fox. In terms of strength, Yunxing and Yushang were equally matched. However, Yushang, that old witch, was the first celestial fox saintess. Her understanding of ancient seals far surpassed Yunxing's. Moreover, who knew what other strange celestial fox inheritance she was hiding in her body? That was why Yunxing was so careful. In contrast to Yunxing, Yushang had always thought highly of herself. A woman like her had 100% confidence in her beauty and intelligence. She had always underestimated Yunxing, thinking that she was a mixed blood and would never be a real competitor. When she saw that the celestial foxes grafting flowers onto trees successfully, seriously injured Yunxing, she let down her guard. This allowed Yunxing to use her blood to snatch the strongest celestial fox inheritance pillar before Yushang at the last moment. Yushang was flustered and exasperated and was about to kill her. At that time, Yunxing wanted to summon the magical beasts and fight her to the death. However, at that moment, Yunxing sensed that there were many powerful energy waves moving towards the center of the ancient seal. Yunxing felt that one of the auras was very familiar. It was Dugashio. After sensing the familiar energy fluctuation, Yunxing immediately understood. It turned out that other than the Behemoth, Pingyu, and Celestial Fox tribes, the Black Chelan tribe had also received the news of the ancient seal. Ever since the incident with the Dutian blood print, there had been no news of Dugashio. It turned out that he had come to the Ba Huang continent. It seemed that the people of the Black Chelan tribe also wanted to plunder the inheritance pillar in the ancient sealing eye. Yunxing's impulse was immediately suppressed by this unexpected discovery. She was very clear about De Guxiu's strength. This fellow was originally an ambitious person. How could he be willing to accept his failure back then? That brat's strength was not inferior to hers back then. In these few years, after being trained by He Yao, he must have improved very quickly. If Yunxing and Yushang fought to the death, wouldn't De Guxiu get what he wanted? Yunxing was not that stupid. She pondered for a moment and changed her mind about fighting to the death with Yushang. Yunxing steeled her heart and pierced the hidden needle into the chi-blocking acupoint in her body. She stopped resisting and allowed Yushang to attack. However, she did not expect that this crazy woman, Yushang, would explode as if Yunxing had stolen her man and dug up her ancestral grave. Yunxing was so angry that she almost vomited blood. Fortunately, after the hidden needle pierced her acupoint, Yunxing's perception had decreased a little, so she managed to endure the pain. However, Yushang was still not satisfied and wanted to directly smash Yunxing to death. Just as Yunxing was cursing in her heart, De Guxiu actually showed mercy and blocked Yushang's attack. Seeing the people of the Black Qilin tribe appear, Yushang indeed restrained herself a little. She finally left after robbing the pillars and people. Just as Yunxing was secretly rejoicing, De Guxiu suddenly leaned over and felt her pulse. Although she was now in her fox form, Yunxing was still shocked. When the man's cold and stiff fingers landed on her neck, Yunxing was a little worried that De Guxiu would recognize her. Fortunately, De Guxiu did not pursue the matter. After the people of the Black Qilin tribe left, Yunxing took a deep breath and came back to life. They've all left. It seems that it's time to see what's going on. Yunxing drank a few mouthfuls of the water of life and recovered some strength. She stared at the Celestial Fox Relic. Celestial Fox Relic, after I entered the sealed eye, you kept humming in my body. Could it be that there's something in the ruins of the ancient seal that you can't bear to part with? Yunxing was suspicious. The reason she was able to remain calm at the last moment and not be completely suppressed by the pressure of the ancient seal was because of the Celestial Fox Relic. The Celestial Fox Relic quietly floated in the ruins. Suddenly, the relic emitted a dazzling light like the scorching sun in a clear sky. The area where the Celestial Fox's inheritance pillar had been plundered by Yushang. Under the effect of the light, the soil in the ruins turned over, as if something was about to drill out from the ground. Rumble, it was as if a door that had been closed for countless years had suddenly opened. A Celestial Fox's inheritance pillar slowly emerged from the ground. It was a Celestial Fox's inheritance pillar that no one had noticed before. It slowly emerged from the ground until it stood side by side with the Celestial Fox's inheritance pillar that Yunxing had dripped her blood on. In front of them stood two Celestial Fox's inheritance pillars. What was going on? She clearly remembered that she and Yushang were competing for the strongest Celestial Fox's inheritance pillar. However, this new inheritance pillar that had just appeared was much larger than the original inheritance pillar in terms of both size and power of inheritance. What was going on with this new inheritance pillar? Yunxing saw that the Celestial Fox's inheritance pillar on the left was still blood red. That should be the Celestial Fox's inheritance pillar that she had fought hard to snatch from Yushang. But the other one. Yunxing focused her eyes and realized that it was a Celestial Fox's inheritance pillar that she had never seen before. This is... Yunxing's pupils shrank. She looked at the Celestial Fox's inheritance pillar that had just emerged in disbelief. The strongest Celestial Fox's inheritance pillar that Yunxing and Yushang had fought over earlier had a seven-tailed Celestial Fox imprinted on it. But this new inheritance pillar had an eight-tailed Celestial Fox's inheritance. It was dark all around. Yunxing knew that she had been buried in the collapsed ancient seal. This eight-tailed Celestial Fox's inheritance pillar had emerged directly from the ground. Yunxing stared at the eight-tailed celestial fox's inheritance pillar. After the new eight-tailed celestial fox's inheritance pillar emerged, the celestial fox's relic that was originally suspended in the sky spontaneously flew into Yunxing's body. There was a soft glow on her chest. Yunxing looked down and saw that the celestial fox's relic had disappeared. Could this be the real reason why the celestial fox's relic had been buzzing non-stop? It was leading her to find the celestial fox's inheritance pillar buried in the ancient seal. That was the strongest celestial fox's inheritance in the ancient seal. Chapter 1265. This is really a blessing in disguise. I didn't expect that the collapse of the ancient seal would draw out the celestial fox's inheritance pillar buried deep within the eight tails. I guess this is fate. Yushang, you tried so hard, but in the end, you still failed to obtain the most powerful celestial fox's inheritance, Yunxing mused. The ancient seal was left behind by the first batch of beast clan ancestors who arrived at the eight wilderness mainland. The ice seal was the inheritance pillar left behind by the last batch of powerful elders of the Bakra orcs. The most ancient inheritance of the Bakra orcs was gathered here. Yushang thought that she knew the ancient seal like the back of her hand, but she did not know that when Hu Yan died in the boundless mainland, the elders of the celestial fox tribe began to suspect Hu Yushang, the saintess. After they arrived at the eight wilderness mainland, they appeared to have constructed this ancient seal with Yushang. However, they also took extra precautions and buried the eight tails inheritance, which represented the celestial fox's highest inheritance, underground. Only a pure-hearted celestial fox who could withstand the elder's test, or a celestial fox who possessed strength comparable to the first tribe leader, Hu Yan, would be able to see the light of day again with the eight-tailed celestial fox inheritance. Although Yunxing's current strength was not comparable to Hu Yan's, due to the celestial fox Sarira, Yunxing unexpectedly discovered the eight-tailed celestial fox inheritance when the ancient seal collapsed. Speaking of which, all of this was fated by fate. The two celestial fox's inheritance pillars were like two bright lamps that illuminated the ruins and temporarily created a relatively safe space for the ruins. Yunxing checked her surroundings and found that small collapses were still occurring around her because of the ice seal's collapse. This was not the best time to leave this ancient seal. Yushang and the others should have returned to Hu City happily by now. Unfortunately, Lu Yunchuang and the others had fallen into Yushang's hands. He had to think of a way to rescue them. However, Yushang had obtained the inheritance of another 7 tails. She also had the support of the great shaman doctor. Even if she returned to Hu City, she wouldn't be defeated so easily. The only thing he could do now was to stay in the ruins and think of a way to merge the two new celestial fox inheritance pillars. Then, he would return to Hu capital and rescue Popo, Little Yingying, and Lu Yunchuang. Thinking of this, Yunxing simply stayed in the ruins and started to comprehend the two great celestial fox heritages on the celestial fox heritages. 2 months passed in the blink of an eye. There was still no movement in the ruins of the ancient seal. Meanwhile, in the capital of the celestial fox tribe, Hudu, the celestial fox tribe finally welcomed their new celestial fox saintess, Yushang. Lu Yunchuang, tomorrow will be the day I officially become the celestial fox saintess. Let me ask you one more time, are you willing to work with me? After Yushang brought Hu Linglong and the others back to Hu City, she received a hero's welcome because she had obtained the inheritance of 7 tails. It had been many years since the celestial fox tribe had obtained the inheritance of a celestial fox with more than 6 tails. This time, Yushang had brought back a 7 tails inheritance. In addition, the other celestial fox saintess candidates were all seriously injured. The 6 tails mixed blood celestial fox Yunxing, who was seen as Yushang's biggest competitor, had killed her compatriots in the 8 desolate mountains and devoured the hearts of Hua Yanluo and Feng Lian in order to snatch the position of saintess. Fortunately, Yu Shang and the other saintesses had worked together to kill Yunxing. Most of the people in the Celestial Fox tribe believed Yu Shang's story. The other Celestial Fox Saintess candidates, including Hu Linglong, had no choice but to agree with Yu Shang because of her abuse of power. Now, Lu Yunxuang was the only one who refused to work with Yu Shang. Yu Shang had wanted to kill her, but the people of the Ice Fox tribe kept asking to see Lu Yunxuang. As a prospective saintess, Yu Shang could not afford to offend the ancient Ice Fox tribe. She had no choice but to imprison Lu Yunxuang, temporarily detaining her on the grounds that she was still seriously ill. Lu Yunxuang, my patience is wearing thin. I'll ask you one more time, are you willing to work with me or not? Yu Shang's face was fierce. I've been through this many times, Yu Shang. You killed your compatriots and framed Yunxing at the last moment. You're dreaming if you want me to work with you. Lu Yunxuang closed her eyes, unwilling to look at Yu Shang's hypocritical face. She only hated herself for not being strong enough and allowing Yunxing to die in the ancient seal. Let's see how long you can remain stubborn. I heard that you have a childhood sweetheart. Is he human? Yu Shang's seductive eyes were full of scheming. Yu Shang, what do you want? Lu Yunxuang opened her eyes. What do I want? I just want to hold a unique sacrifice at the coronation ceremony of the Saintess of the Heavenly Fox tribe tomorrow. You know that sacrifices are required at the Celestial Fox Saintess coronation ceremony. In the past, some magical beasts were used as sacrifices. This year, I plan to use 999 humans for the sacrifice. As for the humans for the sacrifice, I'll use the villagers of your lover's village. What do you think? Yu Shang chuckled. Lu Yunxuang felt as if she was in a world of ice and snow. She did not expect Yu Shang to be so vicious. You're crazy. You don't deserve to be the saintess of the Celestial Fox tribe. Lu Yunxuang was so angry that she wanted to fight Yu Shang. Unfortunately, her body was bound by a magical lock and she could not use any extra strength. You only have yourself to blame. They were all killed because of you. Lu Yunxuang, you're really stupid. You can be like the other Celestial Fox Saintess candidates and be my subordinate. If I'm in a good mood, I might reward you with a Celestial Fox inheritance. Yu Shang snatched a few Celestial Fox inheritance pillars from the ancient seal eye. The Celestial Fox inheritance pillars that lay dormant in the ancient seal eye were all inheritances with 4, 5, and 6 tails. In order to better control her subordinates, Yu Shang gave 2 of them to Hu Linglong and Qin Yu. Dream on. I won't betray Yunxing. Lu Yunxuang gritted her teeth, still unwilling to give in. Is it worth it to do this for a dead person? Fine, since you won't give up, I'll execute you and those humans tomorrow. Yu Shang flicked her sleeves angrily and left the dungeon. As soon as she left the dungeon, Hu Linglong and Qin Yu were already waiting outside. They were now Yu Shang's subordinates. Yu Shang, I've already done as you said and captured those humans. When will you do as we agreed? Hu Linglong looked at Yu Shang with some dissatisfaction. Yu Shang had already gotten her wish and was about to become the Celestial Fox Saintess. She had failed to fulfill her promise to her. Now, the entire Celestial Fox tribe was chasing after Yu Shang. In Hu Linglong's opinion, all of this should belong to her. She could not help but feel a little jealous. What's the rush? I'll do what you said. After I integrate the 7 tails inheritance, what's yours will still be yours. Yu Shang glared at Hu Linglong unhappily.